tonight we're talking about snare drums, and I think some people brought some snare drums with them, and which is kind of cool. The first thing I thought I would do is kind of break down the snare drum and its parts. Explain that first, because what happens a lot of the time is people don't understand what these pieces are, or what it's made of, what's the name of all these things that a snare drum's made of. And some of it you will know, because no matter what, the snare drum starts with a shell of some sort, and that shell can be of a lot of different consistencies. Some are woods, and again, many different consistencies. This one's a maple snare drum. That one's a maple snare drum. But the outer layer could be anything. It could be walnut. It could be poplar. It could be literally any kind of wood. So they can put this drum on the inside. You notice it's a lighter wood. It's a maple wood on the inside, and this is a veneer on the outside of it that they put right on top of that. Whereas same thing with this. That's a beech snare drum made out of beech with a rosewood outer layer on it, right? So it starts with the shell, and the shell construction in a wood drum could be a ply snare, which is different plies of wood, meaning you notice there's little ridges here. Those are each pieces of different types of wood. Those are the plies of the snare drum, and the snare drum itself can have different types of wood as the plies. Ludwig's drums are maple poplar. A lot of those drums that people love so much are maple poplar, but you can mix all kinds of different. In fact, I just saw a British drum company drum that the outer layer was birch, the middle layer was maple, and the inner layer was cherry. And it sounded fantastic. It looked wonderful on the outside, and it was fantastic. It sounded fantastic. So they can make drums out of all different types of wood, and they can make those plies on that drum of different types of wood as well. A lot of companies make just a maple shell, just a birch shell, but they can blend and mix those. They try to blend and mix those. And now also in a wood shell, I'm going to show you a couple of different types. This is a DW snare drum that has a reinforcement hoop on the inside of the shell. You've heard that sort of term thrown around a lot. It's got a reinforcement hoop. Some drums' reinforcement hoops are bigger than others, thicker. This drum's a real thick ply snare drum, but the reinforcement hoop is not very thick. Most of the DW drums that you get that are collector series, like the Sparkle one there, has a reinforcement hoop on there. That reinforcement hoop does just that, it reinforces the shell. The reason they did that was because the shells were going out around, and it makes the shell stronger to have that reinforcement hoop in there. Now that also adds to the tone of that drum, and Gary, if you have anything to throw in here, but that adds to the tone of that drum as well, to have that reinforcement hoop in there. It's going to change it. If you have a drum that looks like this, and then you have a drum that looks like this, those two drums are going to sound different no matter what.
Those two drums what?
Are going to sound different. I know you think I can put heads on a what do you tell me, a pickle bucket, and it sounds the same.
You're giving away my secrets, man.
No, I'm sorry, but that's some bull right there. I'm just calling you on that. So the other thing about snare drums, we're talking about ply snare drums, right? They also make a solid snare drum. It's one piece. Oh, I got Gary's drum caught on my leg.
Break it, you bought it.
Wait a second, I just tuned this thing.
Drop. Yeah, let's hear it. I didn't hear
I
it.
just tuned this thing. I get a
I know
discount.
it.
I did get a discount because I
I'll
tuned it. So Gary's drums are a staved shell, right? It's a staved shell, and what that means is he takes blocks of wood. Correct me if I'm wrong. Takes blocks of wood, takes those blocks of wood, and he glues those different blocks of wood together and makes a mold. basically, that's what it's like, a mold, am I right?
No, it's all math. They're basically the width of them and the bevel cut of each individual stick. So basically for a 6-inch snare, they're 6 inches long, roughly. And then you cut them at 6.5 degrees. And then if you want a 14-inch, you use 30. And that comes up to 360, or basically 14-inch. Then you turn them down to the size that you want. They start off much bigger, okay? But
Yeah, I'll hand this
the
one
thing
around
I will
to
say
look
about
at it.
stave drums is what I like to say about them is there's not as much glue in them as there in a ply drum. You know, ply drums, you're talking 50% glue.
Yeah,
you
because
know.
what you're doing is taking a thin piece of wood, you're
Several.
gluing it, putting another thin piece of wood on it, gluing it, putting another thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of glue in there.
Yeah, that's my take on that. And the other thing is I think it's a jib. They use the cheapest plies, of course, on the inside, and the fillers.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the old Japanese drums, those were Luan and basswood.
Yep.
And other things for the fillers to give them thickness. And that's like the hype to me about Tama Bubinga drums. Everybody talks, oh, get the Star Classic Bubinga. I was like, you're getting a ply of Bubinga. There's no real Bubinga all the way through. It's such hard to come by, you know. So that's where I get a little bit of a heartache when they make you pay way up for something that's been hyped out of this world. I don't think it has that much effect on the sound.
Yeah.
That Bubinga on the outside, great to look at. That's wonderful. I don't think it throws that much to the sound. I could be wrong. That's just my feelings. That's why I like stave drums, because they're solid wood and they have a lot to throw to the sound.
So the very first stave drum that I first saw was from an Australian company that is not in business anymore, and that was the first stave drum I ever saw, and it sounded fantastic. And they made their drums out of like Jara wood or some things, some interesting woods. They did some interesting things with their woods, and they all sounded fantastic. And a lot of those drums are very sought after. Those older stave drums. I think I told Gary that I had a stave drum that was made in Africa. The shell was made in Africa, and the shell was so thin, it was thinner than this shell. It was thinner than this shell. And after a period of time, it sounded really fantastic, and it was made of purple heart, but it was real thin. Purple heart's a pretty hard wood, and after a period of time, the staves came apart. Just came apart because it was too thin.
If he'd have thrown a nice set of re-rings
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
and nice deep ones,
Yeah.
that probably would have survived for a long time, you know, but
The other type of shell that we see is a solid shell, and a solid shell is just that. It's one solid thick piece of wood that they make the drum out of. Now some people say they cut them out of the middle of a log. I've seen somebody do that before. Yes.
There's a wider gap.
Sign. Oh, you mean on his?
Yeah.
Well, I'll let him
that.
explain that.
Okay.
I'll let him explain that a little bit.
Me and Dave
Because
noticed that.
he is right. There's a wider gap here.
on the re-ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Well, no. Yeah, on the actual where the head sits, and there's a reason for that. Sonar does the same sort of thing, but that one piece shell, solid shell drums are really pretty expensive drums. Those are usually $1,000 and above in a snare drum. And a lot of people like that solid shell. It is very hard, and it can be a bit brighter. But there's a lot of people that like solid snare drums. I think I've owned one in my lifetime, and I sold it. It wasn't my favorite sound. You know, for me, it wasn't my favorite sound. But the companies like, cause Sonar is very similar, and Gary's can kind of explain the sizing on his shell compared to like the Ludwig. You will notice that there is a space there. It's like the head actually floats over it. Now, if you've seen a timpani drum before, my dad played timpanis in the band. If you see a timpani drum, that head, the rim is much bigger than the shell, right, of the timpani. It folds over, and so that's similar to how Gary designs his drum. Sonar does the same thing, which gives you a little broader tuning of the drum because of that, the way that thing sits on there. You're getting more of the head on there than you would with the other, and it makes for a drum that tunes a lot wider. You get a lot wider range to tune the drum. Am I right? What are the other reasons why you do that?
That's a great explanation
Yeah.
of it. It's really, I think, forms a better seal. You never have a possibility of the crimp head coming down and having problems mating or seating.
Yep.
If you have it mate on the flat part and not the round part of the head, all those are curved. You know. Now we cut these bearing edges to the quarter rollover, just like the drum heads have.
Right.
But if you don't touch that part of it, if you just get out just a hair more, you'll get the flatter part of the head to do the seal.
Right.
You know, it'll pull down.
Right.
It's not a problem.
Right.
You'll notice the looks like a mistake, but it's on purpose that the rods here coming in are coming in a little bit. So
Yep.
a little
Yep.
undersized. It's supposed to be 13.875. I take them down to like 13.8.
Cool.
So it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And they still line up nicely because those are floating nuts, of
Well, the
course.
swivel nuts are
Yeah, the
designed
swivel- yeah.
to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah.
And
They're
what I do
floating.
is generally-
they're floating in there. I mean,
Yeah, bring them up and shift it around a little bit and kind of look all the way around before you start tightening down, that you know you're pulling down even, and then go from there. But
So,
I
so,
don't-
so that's kind of what we're talking about. Wood drums, yes.
I just know, me and Dave's noticing, there's also 2 airports. What's Gary's thoughts on that? Is there a purpose for that?
that's a lot of theory going on there. You know, you're seeing guys now cutting 4-inch holes in the side of their snares and doing it almost all the way around. It's like
Yeah.
there's a balance, and I'm not an expert on that. I can't talk about it exclusively, but I'd say this, that one of your reactions is from your top head to your bottom head, of course. That's where you're gonna get your snare action. So if you let that air get away, I don't know what else is going down there. Nothing but a shock wave, and that shock wave is air.
And
So-
it makes the drum, no matter what, when you put those larger holes in them, right?
Too big.
They all you're really getting is the 2 sounds of the heads. That's all you're getting. You're losing the actual shell sound.
Yeah, the
You're
tone.
Yeah, the tone.
Yeah.
And all that air and sounds coming out the side of the drum. Now, I know people, I got a buddy that makes snare drums, and he doesn't put an air hole in it at all.
Yep.
And but the drum feels different because there's got to be some place for a little bit of air to go. You know, it's very similar to your bass drum. You put 2 heads on your bass drum, it feels different than you put 2 heads with a hole in it, right? 2 full heads, no matter what, that air's got nowhere to go.
Yep.
So it's similar to snare drum. I do like a vent hole in it, at least one. Two. I have some drums that have 2 in them, and they as well sound great. But once it gets past that, I've never played a drum that has a big hole in it that I loved. It sounds really nice if you like an articulating, very marching kind of snare
Marching,
drummy
yeah.
sound, right? It sounds really good with that. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of that. So that's kind of what we have with wood drums. Lots of different shells. There's ply shells, there's solid shells, and there's stave shells. From there, you go into people making drums out of this, that is a snare drum made of copper. It weighs less than 5 pounds. It's made of copper. The interesting thing with this drum is it's got reinforcement hoops on the inside of it. So the reinforcement hoops we were talking about were inside the drum. He puts a maple reinforcement hoop where the head sits on the reinforcement hoop. Hey man, what's up? That sits on the reinforcement hoop, right? Which is an interesting concept. This is a guy out of Detroit makes this drum.
I know what he's doing that. He can't form that into the copper. So
He's not really good at forming it. Yeah, my buddy Josh, who makes the Lucky drums. What's up, man? How are you? Good to see you. Makes the Lucky drums. He really can form the edge of the copper drum, right?
He's just got those.
But he puts those reinforcement hoops in there.
Operated on.
Yeah, that's just so that's not re-rings. That's his bearing edges.
Yeah, that's
He
his
wouldn't
bearing
have
edge.
a bearing edge if he didn't have
He
those.
made a re-ring as a bearing edge. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's
Put a
something.
wood bearing edge on it. That drum weighs less than 5 pounds. Crazy snare drum. So they make them out of copper.
I'm
They ma-
thinking,
Yeah.
looking at this, it's gonna have, not a bevel, a notch, where this re-ring is sitting down, partially covering the shell and then sitting on top of it too. Because you can't see, you can see through there, but you can't see the end. I'd have to take a head off to
To see how it sits on there, yeah.
They're not re-rings, in my opinion, those are bearing edges.
It slips on the edge of it. I mean, it's certainly a rim.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sits on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's pop riveted through the shell.
Yeah. So that's a copper snare drum.
It's light.
They also make them out of brass. This is a brass snare drum. This is one of my drums. It's a
Yeah,
solid.
he's doing something
That's a
different.
solid brass snare drum.
Using copper on the outside.
That weighs about 15.
That he doesn't have a way to roll a bearing edge.
That's a one-piece shell,
So
right?
he adds a wooden ring, which is the bearing edge.
That company
So
makes
just
everything
being
on that
riveted,
drum.
I'm not
It's a
wild
really nice
about
drum.
that.
Then they make this is a standard stainless steel snare drum. You have a steel snare drum made of steel, rolled steel. My dad's got that's a Dynasonic snare drum. That's a brass snare drum that's been chromed. So they call that chrome over brass, or if you see somebody say COB, that's what that means, chrome over brass. And everybody makes one.
Yeah, it is.
DUNET makes one. PDP makes them. DW makes them. The most popular Ludwig snare drum is a chrome over brass Superphonic. That's the one that everybody uses.
I don't know.
That's the one
I've
John
used
Bonham
those, I'd
played
find
on
them
all the
like
records. Chrome over brass.
Oh.
I got one in my car that Barry's gonna take home, and I'm probably never gonna see it again.
Never gonna see it.
It's called offbeat, something, offbeat
More than likely.
drum
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. So that's a solid brass. Literally, they're making them out of every kind of metal you can imagine. Aluminum. This is
These two the same, that one over there?
this one is an aluminum
Oh my
shell.
God.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this one yet.
My spring wouldn't work.
Aluminum shell.
My-
Same sort of situation. Look at that, it's an aluminum shell.
Is that the same company?
Nope.
Is
That's
that
they
made,
also
lighter?
that's
doing
made,
it too?
that's made by Dixon.
I'll be darned, so somebody else is doing it.
Yep.
Now, there's a guy in Canada
Well,
who's,
I think that's walnut on the inside. It could
he's
be.
doing a hybrid aluminum, on the top, and then he does a wood bottom.
Yeah.
And he's putting the only thing is he's putting the shell down into the wood in a groove, so it's not coming out and it's held together nicely.
That's how that looks. It looks like they actually, like that one looks like that it's sitting in that.
He told me the truth on why. It's not inventive. It's not like he's trying something new. They had a batch of aluminum shells that were being made into drums
Yeah.
at a place that rolls those bearing edges right into the aluminum, and they botched a whole batch of them.
More of a
The
pickle.
machine before they could catch it.
Stop it, right?
Yeah, so they said, well, he said, what would you take for those? And he bought like, I don't know, hundreds of them. So he cuts that off, and then he adds wood up to that point.
Oh, that's cool.
And it turned out to be a really good sound, because you get the aluminum like an acrylite, which has a decent sound, and then he adds just some really pretty
Yeah.
wood on the bottom as the hybrid part. That's where he cuts the bearing edge from the bottom. And they have a good sound, and they're interesting looking, but I would rather have one of the original, just aluminum ones,
Yeah.
or one of his wood ones. The company up there is called David Drums, and I can vouch for him. He makes a fantastic drum.
Yeah,
And,
I've had 2 or 3 people tell me
yeah,
about this.
I got me started with being impressed by Stave Construction, because I bought one of his, and I was like, holy crap, these sound awesome, and he does a fantastic job. Actually, it's a real good time right now. I'm not selling for him or anything, but Canadian dollar's down, and he sells in Canadian dollars on his website, so he might be asking $650, but by the time he popped that, it's $475. So
Canadian quarters at home.
That's the last
Goodbye.
thing I need. Yeah, you just cash those in.
you
Everybody-
do what?
We all put
I got a
our
bunch of
Canadian
Canadian
pennies
quarters at home.
and
Yeah,
dimes
don't do
and
that.
quarters together.
You get the same
Might
rate
be able to buy
there.
some.
You have to send a boatload of them up there. You don't want to feel how heavy this is. Hold just one hand up and I'll try
So,
to hold it.
again, they make drums out of,
This
that's
thing
a,
weighs 30
that's a
pounds.
solid
Ready?
piece of brass.
Here it comes. Ah!
Yeah, that's a solid piece of brass there.
That'll make it
Jeremy's
pretty
got one of those, right? You got one.
Yeah.
Jeremy's got one. He's in the
That's a lot
club.
of metal. There.
Oh, it's got an afterburn. Do it
Yeah,
again.
little ring. Yeah. Not bad.
It's kind of weird.
Got a nice trick throw. Now I like it. Little loose. Anyway.
Is the
I like,
aluminum still
AF.
lighter than the copper?
Aluminum is lighter. And
Anybody
lifetime seen a Ludwig snare drum
cast bronze
that
or
looks like
cast
it's polished,
copper. They do
it's like
cast
shiny
finish.
looking
They weigh about this much.
aluminum. It looks similar to this drum here. That's a acrylite.
Oh.
And they do
Why is it
seamless.
so light?
It's made of copper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, drum's made of copper.
Don't bump it.
Is that Bobby?
Yes.
You might dent it. No, you won't hit that
I've
thing.
seen you for
I
years.
guarantee
I know. Don't worry, keep
I mean, if you hit it with a ball peen, you
Oh
know.
my gosh.
It's
I
been a
haven't seen you forever. Oh,
Hey, Lever,
So that's a solid drum there.
That tone wings in.
Trying to see if we can, yeah, stone wings, I've got a couple tone wings.
Oh, this is
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Trying to think what else is up here that would be.
Yeah, still hanging around.
This is a brass snare drum with,
Yeah, this is really good.
yeah, black nickel, but it's also hand hammered. Hey, you pull your drum out, let me
I follow
see
us,
it.
I follow us Instagram.
Yeah, this is
Facebook, all of it.
brass.
Why don't you just take all your snares and lay
Hybrid
them forward
drums,
and lay them in the middle of it?
with wood
Take a picture
fabric.
of it.
We have got a contractor.
Wood.
Yeah, no, especially when
Set up.
you're rim shot.
So yeah, so
I'm not sure
here,
I like these claws on a
There's
snare.
no,
this is titanium.
Actually,
The titanium shell.
that'd be really old school, but
That's what that is.
kind of like ran across the
These
there's
drums sound
there's
good.
no
Are you staying in Indiana?
Oh yeah, we're just
It's
down
got a
there.
weight to it.
And it's great. I mean,
Those drums are probably the most affordable
I like them.
metal
Really
snare
old.
drum that you
Yeah,
get
I mean,
that
it's
is
hitting that sound.
unique.
up there,
It
it's
sounds,
a 3 hour trip. If I'm not
sounds,
mistaken.
the cost of that, I think you pay twice that much money. I haven't tuned that one up, I just took it out of the box. You would think you'd pay twice that for that drum. I think it's what was it, four something? Yeah, 475, 465, something like that. That drum is amazing, it sounds fantastic. Dave Williams!
Lord have mercy. Rascals in the highway.
You're all here.
Shotgun volume right now.
no chair, that means I can't hang out?
No, you gotta lay down on the floor.
You gotta-
Come there,
you
lay
gotta-
on the carpet.
You gotta rent one from Zach. He's running that.
Yeah,
running that
he's
business
renting them
now.
out $10 a piece.
Mark's doing that, isn't he?
He's in
Yeah, I
Egypt.
lose tuning real fast when I play.
Mark's in Egypt right now.
Is he really?
Yeah,
I went on tour and I lost some lugs at the bottom of the snare drum. And I was like, I'm just gonna put them on to be safe.
They got there.
Yeah,
They got there.
Oh, it's fine. I can.
That's
This is
gotta be cool.
titanium. Yeah.
One you bought.
Titanium. That's also made by Dixon. They're really,
Yeah.
Dixon's doing
That's a
some
bucket list.
innovative
That's a
things.
big-
Man.
They really are, right?
They really are making some great drums. That's made by Dixon, Dad.
Dixon.
Dixon, you remember Dixon over in the 70s and 80s made cheap drum sets?
Yeah.
That's who that's made by now.
Is it made in this country?
It's not. It's made. It's made in Taiwan. They have their own factory in Taiwan. They're making those drums. Yeah, great stuff. And they told me they'd make anything. If I asked them to make me whatever kind of drum out of whatever, they would make it for me. Yeah, they're really very
I
innovative.
have, but I've had it for like a month with the band that I was in at the time.
Chevy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So this drum and that drum, there's similarities to it because they're hand hammered, but that's a Greg Dixon, that snare drum, it's brass with a
Another
nickel
heavy
finish, and that's also a Dixon snare.
Looks nice.
Crazy.
This is the
crazy
only
color. I think those different colors no matter.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's colored by the heat that they heated it to, and not like painted, which is kind of
Is
neat.
that right? The flame blowing now.
Yeah.
Hey, leave her alone.
Trying to take bites.
It's very helpful. Right where I hit rim shots, top and bottom, all those gloves.
Oh, really? I think the majority of
Pass it to them too.
it's got the wood reinforced.
Yeah, I went on tour and lost lugs out of the bottom of my snare drum because I didn't even think to look forward
This
initially.
is a 20 ply snare drum. I just got in.
I had one of those. I
This is
hated
also
it.
a Dixon snare drum, Dad. I bought a bunch of them from the trade show. This is one from Cape and Dam show.
Did you hear him? It's a Dixon 20 ply.
20 ply shell.
So that's heavy.
It's a heavy drum, tube lugs. You know,
I had a
but that's
Rain
burned.
special,
They
isn't it?
burned that look on there. It's burned
Titanium
in there. You
on the
run your
front.
hand across, you can feel the burn on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
feel the burn. I haven't tuned it up either. I just got it out.
So when's Dixon started stepping up the?
About 5 or 6 years ago, they started doing that. Like all of those drums on the top shelf there, or that middle shelf, that's all Dixon.
Wow, they're gorgeous.
And they're making some really cool things. I'm very behind that company because the guy who runs it in the States has spent his whole life working in the drum business, and he's a very smart guy. His name's Jim Hood. He's really a nice dude, and he has put his in that. I haven't tuned it yet. I just pulled it out of
It's
the box.
plenty heavy.
Yeah, it's a 20-ply shell.
I'd like to use that in the studio.
Yeah, that'd be a screamer right
Yeah,
there.
just
It's
like
got
it is.
double throw off on it. So now we all understand they make shells out of everything. And that's a 20-ply maple shell, but then it's got
That's nice.
the outer ply is a
Purple
different
rain
piece
job, isn't
of wood that they burn on the outside of that. So when you look at a snare drum, the other things that every drum has is going to have hoops on it. And when you get into hoops, there's a lot of different things you can do with hoops. As you notice, this hoop has a what's called a stick saver, where on a normal triple flange hoop, there's an edge there. When you do rim shots, that tears up your drumstick. Sonar makes they've got this directly from their original drums from the 60s, so that's a rounded hoop on there, and they call that a stick saver. Actually, Slinger was the one that came out with the stick saver hoops, but yeah, it's a 13. It's a 13. So you can feel that hoop and tell. Most of these other ones are what's called a triple flange hoop. 1, 2, 3 flanges. Each one of these are triple flange. This is a die cast hoop on here. Are these aluminum die cast or just regular die cast?
Zinc
Yeah.
die-cast.
Yeah. So that's a die cast hoop. That is a hard cast hoop. The difference between a triple flange hoop, I can take a triple flange hoop and I can bend it. And some people, like me, like a triple flange hoop on certain snare drums because it makes the drum have a different kind of a wang. It makes the drum ring a little different, right? Whereas the die cast hoop is rigid, very rigid, and it enables the head to go straight down when you put it on there. Keeps the drum in tune a lot of time a lot better, and they don't bend. You don't bend those. They just don't bend. So there's triple flange hoops. There's a single flange hoop like this.
Are they harder to tune than triple?
The triple flange, nah, they're not hard to
Alex,
tune.
Alex,
Not necessarily, no. But you have to be careful because with a triple flange, with this die cast, yeah, it'll go around, but a triple flange, you can pull one side of it down
And you still,
because of how it bends, right? This is a single ply. This is like the old snare drums from the 40s. It's got a single. There's just one piece there, and some of these
what is that?
are similar, like this, where you notice the old drums that had that same sort of hoop on it. These are claw hooks that go over. This one, the actual hoop has that built into it, so the tension rod goes straight through that. And this company makes all of this. They make the bronze hoops in-house, they make the shell, they make the lug, and they make the throw-off. They make this throw-off and butt plate themselves. All that's made in-house.
He wanted to know who makes it.
There's a company called Ebonor. They're in Quebec, Canada. Made by a father and son. There's only 2 people to touch this drum.
Wow.
Yeah, very cool.
You know, I don't know how that all worked out, but you know this Dixon thing. You know who got that? That was out years ago, and Bob Hanser.
Oh,
The one who pulled that off.
I bet he did.
He did.
I bet he did.
I remember when he did it. I don't know how that all worked out. It kind of freaked me out.
That's a company in Cincinnati. Bob Hanser had a company called why can't I? Davin Hanser, and they were a distributing company that distributed things, and they distributed Dixon drums in the 70s and 80s at an inexpensive drum set that came in from Taiwan. Now that's Dixon stuff is all distributed by St. Louis Music out of St. Louis. All that stuff comes into there. And so on the hoop fringe, you've got wood hoops, you've got triple flange hoops, you've got die cast hoops, you've got single flange hoops, you've got these crazy hoops. You ever seen these things? That's a wood hoop too. I think that's a 20 ply. That's a 20 ply, I think. On
It looks
those,
like an old
Yamaha was the first one to make those.
those old PV drums?
Yeah,
Is
yeah, they
that
had that
kinda
kind of
what
big
it's
hoop on it.
That big old hoop.
That's a wooden hoop. It's a solid 20 ply. You can put those on any drum that has an 8 or 10 hole, depending on what you use. But those things are cool. They put them on top and bottom. I know a lot of guys that put that hoop on the top head because they want the sound of that backbeat fat sound, and it changes no matter what. The die cast hoop or one of those kind of hoops changes when you play a side stick. So when you play a side stick, this is going to sound different than a triple flange hoop, right? This is the die cast. They all sound different when you play that sort of thing on all of them. You take one of Gary's drums and do it. Some of them have a harder, lower pitch, depending on what you're looking
Hit that
for.
little plastic thing you got on there.
Yeah, that's a,
Is this for that or for
That's
wood shop?
actually ebony.
yeah, that's an addition.
Ebony wood.
Gary, did you make
Okay.
that?
Very hardwood. Yeah, I made a little batch of those, and I've been trying them out. It's kind of like what they call rim riser.
Yeah.
So you can add that to your drum to play that part, or you can actually use it as a backbeat. It's
Is it plastic?
a little harder to do that.
Is that a coated stick?
That's a pretty show.
Crap. I don't blame you. I'm sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
I tell you, the
I just don't
improvement-
like them. How's that? I don't like 'em.
There you go.
I don't like them. That doesn't mean they're
hear
crappy.
anything
I didn't mean
wrong.
that. But you can use that as a backbeat as well.
Depending where you put it, I
You can
guess
put
you
it, yeah, you
could.
could use it as a backbeat. I remember Yamaha made this in a 20 ply that you added to it, and it was wider, so you could put it on the backside, and you could put one on that side as well, and have them both.
There's been some stuff out
Yeah,
there.
those are
Wouldn't
really
be
pretty
scary.
cool.
GW True Hoops
break
got
it.
a really nice cross stick sound.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
up. They're taller.
And they're very similar to the Dunette. They're very similar. It's almost like a in between a triple flange and a die cast. It's very rigid sound. That's a nice hoop as well.
This is the first time I've seen an S hoop, and I don't know what happened to them. Why are they still around?
Yeah, Big Bang Distributing has them now.
Okay.
So the guy who designed that is from Louisville.
Oh, okay.
His name was last name was Barrickman.
Might be.
No,
Dave?
no, Dave,
I don't know
Dave's
where I
cousin.
got it, to be honest.
Barrickman was his last name. He designed that. I have a set of those that were like his first run of them. That he.
How many
that he-
lug?
I have them with a whole set. I have a 10, 12, 14, 16 snare drum.
Oh, he made 'em.
S hoop. So you made them for every size.
Made it for all
And
sizes.
so now, if you've not seen an S hoop, it's a transition between a triple flange hoop
Rick,
and Rick. Sorry, Rick. Rick passed away. Great drummer and a nice guy. That's an S hoop on this drum. If you notice, that's a much wider, flatter piece. Now his thought on making this hoop was that, for one thing, he felt like a regular triple flange or a die cast hoop wouldn't protect the bearing edge of the drum. That was his first piece of it. And when I got it, I was like, what I see about this hoop is the perfect mixture of a triple flange hoop because it still bends a little bit, and a die cast hoop. It's not too die casty and it's not too triple flange. But that's called an S hoop. They're still available. You can get them from Big Bang Distributing, who distributes them to me. But yeah, you can still get them. They're cool. And it feels different if you feel the
I remember when they
lost. I got too many drum guys.
Heavy. Always.
Where's the sonar at?
Oh, if you only knew
It
who
was
was beat on
over
that
here.
drum.
I think it went back here towards
Back
your
in
way.
the
I think,
tree.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So the sonar, you notice the sonar's got that bended hoop on it too. If you notice that, it's got
I
that
like
bended
that
hoop.
throw off
It's
on
not
that.
the same as that. That S hoop's cool. I really like that S
I
hoop.
like that S hoop.
Yeah.
I did I don't know if it's this stick, this magic stick here, but the stick on that S hoop is amazing for cross stick.
Yeah.
I play a lot of country.
Well,
you
that
know,
that
you
thing
got-
is hot, so high. The
Hard.
pitch of that wood is so high on that Osage orange. It's unbelievable.
Those St. John's, they made them. He
Yeah,
made
you
them.
went
So
back.
we talked about shells and all the different shell construction.
Yeah, the back there.
We talked about the hoops, all the different hoop construction again. So many different types. Then you go to every drum has a lug on it, and there's every kind of lug in it that there is, huh?
every drum has a
Yeah.
lot.
Osage,
We always
or
talk about drums
hedge,
with lugs.
hedge apple tree, one
I know
big
when
green
you're
thing going
What do you got in there?
Well, it's also called a
Open that thing up.
orange, so, yeah.
So
Yeah.
You had to get permission to
99% of the drums have lugs on them.
Oh, totally.
99% have
It is a
lugs
really
on.
good sound.
Wait a second.
Every
We'll talk about this because no matter what,
He needs to have
this is a free floating snare drum.
Like pearl.
Yes.
What?
Indians use
That's a free floating snare drum.
to make their.
Pearl's wonderful innovation, which I think is it's really cool. The idea of the free, have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Didn't they start off though as marching snares?
No, not necessarily. They actually made it as a 5.5, a 6.5, and I think they even made an 8-inch at one time. But the idea with that is that you can change the shells on it. So a session drummer can have a wood shell, a copper shell, a steel shell, and a brass shell, and they can switch them all out by just taking the head off and dropping a new shell in there. And Barry's going to show us this other shell that he has. It's made of the other type of shell that we should have talked about,
Huh.
the acrylic shell.
That's a custom.
That's a
Can't- you
custom
can't buy
acrylic
that.
shell.
Color
I
or
put,
shell?
yeah, I put a pearl badge
Came
on
straight
it, but
from
it's not
Japan.
pearl.
This came straight from Japan.
It did.
And
Some guy I
so,
know had ordered 10 of them and sold them, so.
so that's like a Vistalite snare drum, right?
Zika.
The interesting thing with this is that if you remember, we talked about the bearing edge on top of the drum at the bottom, and they make those in a lot of different. Gary, you probably do a 45, 35, 65, 95, 100, 105. What do you do?
Quarter full round over with a 30 back cut. So
Let him
There-
explain that to you, because I don't want to get into.
you can
the
see them through the clear.
So when you look at you look at this shell again, you'll notice that the bearing edge on that's much different than the bearing edge. Look at this, where that head, you see that's a 45 right there. It's very sharp, right? Whereas Gary's is more rounded
To start.
to start and then goes sharper
And you
down
can,
there.
you can position the bearing hedge anywhere you want in that roll. Once you quarter it over, you can back cut it 30 all the way out to the edge if you want. Sonar gets very close to their edge,
Yeah.
and others don't. Not proprietary, Gretsch does it, Sonar did it.
So the
and
bearing
then there's
edge-
just straight 45.
Yeah, so the bearing edge is what that head sits on, right? That's that, and if that bearing edge has any sort of imperfections in it, your drum will sound like a turd.
I was gonna say bearing edges are more important
just
than
said the
bearing
word.
edges than heads.
It'll sound like a turd. And usually with metal drums and that kind of thing, you have to drop it on something without the head on there to tear that up. Where a wood drum can fall apart sometimes. I mean, the actual wood can fall apart. You can take that head off there again. If you drop that, it will chip that bearing edge, and that'll tear your sound up. Your drum head will not float on there like it should. With these, like this one, there's no bearing edge on the bottom because the metal or aluminum,
Chassis.
aluminum chassis,
The metal thing.
the metal thing on the bottom of it is what has the bearing edge on it, right? So this thing can be flat because it sits inside of there. Make sense? Bearing edge on there. You hand this around so people can feel the bearing edge. So yes,
you talk about
there is
peaks.
one drum without a lug that sticks to the side of the drum. It's that one.
What does that do
What were
to
you
the
gonna say,
sound
Bob?
of free floaters?
What does that free floater do?
Yeah, what does that do to the sound? Like, why do people like them?
Well, the biggest reason why people liked them was that you could change the shell. You could put a brass shell, you could put a wood shell, you could put a acrylic shell, and change the sound of the drum really quickly by just taking the head off and dropping a new shell in. So one person can have one drum with 4 or 5 shells and change the sound of the drum.
Sad that it went up, but it's
Is there
not,
vent holes in
in my opinion, reasonable.
There's usually a vent hole in there.
Usually.
There's a vent hole in those.
No.
No vent hole?
I remember those pearls
Yeah, I
came
don't like
out,
that.
whatnot. Was it sort of like a flash in the pan, like a
I'm not a
sounds
fan.
good.
I know it does,
They still do it.
but I don't like it.
They still show. They still-
What?
Here's the
Wait.
thing. I
Wait,
thought
wait,
that the
wait,
do you
wait.
ever- do you-
It might resonate a little more too, because you're stuck.
It don't like you either.
Did he just put that scratch in there when he was handling it?
I think you did. Oh my gosh, Max.
He hates
I
that
didn't even,
drum.
hey, look, I didn't even touch that drum. I never even
Look,
touched
my
that
drum,
drum.
I'm touching my drum.
No kidding.
Where's
His
your
drum
drum?
floating
I think I
around,
lost
They were
Okay.
oohing and ahhing. Keep an eye on his drum. You better get it over
Let
there.
me where that
it.
drum's
Let me tell
been.
you what,
Let's get that back over there.
you need to give that drum to Barry and let him clean it up. It looks like it's been,
It's been.
it's been in the, it looks like it's been in the root cellar.
That was the old Dick Clark days.
Now it's got a vintage look. Leave it alone. I don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to see that polish.
We haven't got to the snares, that's when we'll get into that.
Leave it. Rusty.
All right, so they do make the wood shell. I thought the wood shell did have a hole in it, Barry. I think it does. The wood shell for one of those has an air hole in it. I know it does.
I believe you. I don't have
I'm
a,
gonna
I
say
don't
that
have a
because I
wood one.
remember it.
I've got, the copper, brass, and the acrylic, and the brass is, piccolo.
I have a friend that's looking for a wood shell for one of those. So
Okay.
6.5.
What, maple, birch, don't care?
Just as long as it's wood.
Okay.
As long as it's wood.
I know
so-
some people.
Okay, good. Yeah, try to find that. So, the lugs on the drum. And there's a lot of different types of lugs. There's tube lugs like this. Everybody's seen those before. I have a tattoo on my left arm of a 1920s Black Beauty that I used to own. As soon as I got the tattoo on my arm, I sold it for $4,500 because I didn't want it. I didn't need it, but those tube lugs have been around for ages. 1920s, 1930s, those drums are all done that way. And there's a lot of different types of tube lugs, depending on what you're looking for. Drum Workshop, this was the original George Way, then Camco, then Drum Workshop took this lug. That's how long it's been around. Since
Camco, the
60s.
first one.
No, George Way was the first one, Dad.
Who?
George Way. The George Way snare drum was the first one, then it was a Camco, then it was DW. These are what's called a teardrop. That's also a 60s type of style of a snare, of a lug. Barry's got those weird tube lug deals on his snare drum. These are, again, tube lugs. Some people think that the more mass, like you see the Dunette snare drum's got a real big, I think he calls that a universal, is what he calls that. Some people think that those long lugs make the shell not do what it's supposed to do. I think that's a bunch of malarkey myself.
My snare drum.
I don't think that this tube lug here compared to this lug here, compared to that lug there, makes much of a hill of beans on the drum itself. I think it looks cool, and that's what it is. Now with that lug, even on Barry's, there's a place for the tension rod. This is called a tension rod, not a lug. From now on, when you come to me looking for a tension rod, call it a tension rod. Don't say, hey man, I need some lugs for my snare drum. Because that makes me think you need these, not these. These are tension rods, and all your drums have these tension rods. Now within that tension rod, not on the tube lug, because you see the tube lug, that goes straight into the drum itself, right into the lug. But on a drum like this, it's a cool Ludwig drum, there's a swivel nut inside there. That's what that's called, the swivel nut. That's what that's called. So when you're looking for the piece that goes inside your lug, that's called the swivel nut. They make different types of swivel nuts depending on the drum. Some of them are square when they're inside here. That's what keeps this from pulling out, is that swivel nut. It's usually got a flat piece on the bottom of it. They're only about this tall. Some of them will come out of the, you'll see a drum that has a swivel nut on it. Oh, there I can find one somewhere. Oh yeah, the DW ones are perfect. If you notice look how long that swivel nut is on that one. Really long. That swivel nut's real long on that one.
And DW has different threads.
That's the other thing. If you buy a DW drum, if you notice how fine those are, it's like, I wanna be different. That's what this is called.
Yep.
DW, if you notice, you can't even see those. If you look at this drum, you can see the threads on that. You can't even see the threads on this because they put a real fine thread on there. So when you're trying to find a tension rod, right?
Yeah.
Tension rods for your snare drum, and it's a DW.
Or a swivel nut.
Or a swivel nut. You'll have to find a fine tune, which I do have a bunch of those in there. Both the tension rods and the other. So if you do have one of those drums and you lose a tension rod, you'll have to come see me because I got those here because they're weird. And standard sizes have a standard, and everybody else but DW will use a standard one. Just so you know.
Issue with my Apex too.
No, because your Mapex shouldn't have that. Your Mapex should have a standard in it.
I don't know. We had an issue with getting the wrong one in it initially.
You know, because they gave you a DW one.
Okay.
That's
that would
why.
explain the problem.
They gave you a DW one, which is a much
Of
finer
all of the
thread.
options.
Finer thread. And some people think that makes the drum easier to tune and better to tune, da 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 da. But I think it's just something to make them unique, which is cool. Nothing wrong with being unique.
All the drums that I tune, I have never found it easier or more fine-tunable. It's just different.
I truly think that probably came from Terry Bozzio. And the reason I say that is Terry Bozzio tunes his drums very high. And when you tune a drum high, there's a fine, you can tune a drum much finer when it's higher pitched, right? Because the little bit you turn that because of that high pitch really makes a difference, and I think that's where that came from.
That makes sense.
That's where that came from, was from Terry Bozzio.
Yeah, because before then, they had the standard lugs.
Yeah, they did. And then Terry Bozzio came on with 7,000 drums of every type, and he was tuning them to a note. It was very fine-tuned. That's where that came from. All right, so now we've got shells, we got hoops, we got lugs, we got tension rods, we got swivel nuts. The last thing to talk about on a snare drum is the snares and the snare mechanism. And again, everybody does it a little different. Everybody does it a little different. Dave, you got a Ludwig Superphonic in there? What do you got?
I brought this thing.
Yeah. Let me see it. Dave, tell me what this is.
It's a drum.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You got it.
He didn't lie to you.
He did.
That's an 8x14 classic maple that I ordered custom from Mom's on Frankfurt with the drum set that matches it.
Right.
I think it's 6 plywood right before they changed to 7
Yeah.
with mini lugs.
Yeah.
Natural finish.
So this is the original Ludwig
It's a heavy.
P85 throw off. My favorite snare drum throw off in the world. It's my favorite one. It's simple, it works. Now there's a throw off on this side and there is a butt plate on this side. Yes,
Why is it your favorite?
because it's
Just
simple
curious.
and it always works.
Until it doesn't.
It does what it's supposed to do. It leaves it, and it doesn't slip. Now certainly before, like this one has the little screws on it. I like that they have drum key, but this one has the screws in like they have for the original, right? P85 is my favorite of all of them, but there's a throw off on this side, and that throw off enables you to take the snares up and down on the bottom of this drum. So you can make your drum have more snare sound or less snare sound. It's very simple. The butt plate holds the other end of it so that you can do that. Now, there are drums here. Which one has the double throw-offs on it? Somebody's got where's that fun looking Dixon snare drum? Oh, it's over here. That one's got 2 throw-offs on it.
I've got a whole separate.
If you notice, this one has 2 throw-offs on it, but if you notice, this is Greg Bissonette's snare drum. He's a big Ludwig fan too. That's got a simple, if you notice that throw-off looks basically like a P85,
Yeah.
just more robust. It is more robust, and probably this would fit on that drum. More than likely, they've been smart enough to make that part of it so you can put it on a bunch of different drums. But this one has, Greg likes to have a little finer tune on that side, which is kind of nice. So you can, instead of having a butt plate on that other side, you have an extra place to actually bring the snares up. Now, the problem with that is that you kind of have to get that where it pulls up. You know, you can use it as a butt plate and just not use it at all and just leave it the way it is. But typically what people like to do is bring that snare up evenly on both sides. Yamaha was one of the big companies that brought out 2 tuning mechanisms on that. They're also the ones that brought out 2 different snares on each drum. I don't have one of those. I wish Jim would have brought one of his. And I wish I still had my Dave Weckl snare drum that I sold. I should have never sold it. Has 2 throw-offs on it, which is the coolest thing in the world because both have mechanisms on both sides, but you can put brass snares on one side and put steel snares on the other side. Or you can put gut snares on one side and something else. You can get a lot of different sounds out of it. You can mix them and match them. Very, very cool and very innovative. They don't make it anymore, which is a bummer. If you notice, this one is a similar situation. It's got a knob on there. It's a sonar. It's got a knob on this side. It's still butt platey, but it's got a knob. But the throw off's very simple, on off. I really like that. Dave likes sonar drums, don't you, Dave?
I like that.
I got one.
Yeah, I love that throw. It's so simple, very innovative, but very simple.
Smooth.
You can do a lot of good
Very
stuff with
smooth.
it. DW, of course, has this innovation, which is the butt plate that has a mechanism that enables that to lower.
So
I'll bring it
stages,
tighter.
you got different stages?
Yeah, you got different stages
Oh,
on it.
wow.
And then their throw off's real simple, it's their version of a P85. It just flips off, very simple. I like that the knob is this way instead of on the top. It's kind of cool. But that butt plate has different.
How many positions has it got? 4?
4.
Did Ludwig stop making P85s?
Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does.
One's off or
Yeah.
something, really.
Huh?
Did Ludwig stop making P85s, or did they just stop putting them on drums?
They stopped the standard. You can buy a standard P85 still. It's a little more robust. It does not look like the one that you have on there. It doesn't look like that. It's a little more robust, but they still make a P85 like that. But now they're making a new version of a P85.
P88.
Yes, and it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think. I think it's
The knob clicks.
yeah. It's got a knot. Yeah, it's a notched knob. I think that's what's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's on this one. So if you notice that one, that's also like a P85. Simple, but it's a 80.
I like P83s, man, from the 60s.
The old little. Yeah,
Those
the
are
ones.
great.
Yeah, they're great. They really are. So each drum has that mechanism on it. One Gary likes, and I like my drum has them on them. Is the trick throw off, which is 3 position. You can have 3 different depths of where you want that. I really love this. I have one on my Evanor and I love it. That's a great throw off. Let's see.
So that's really like good for like, I guess, if you're in a studio situation, I guess, and
Yeah.
you're looking for a certain snap and.
Yeah, or if you're playing a gig like I used to play a gig that we did a lot of like kind of Cajun-y stuff, and then we do something that was more rudimental, and you could take that throw off and make it very snary, pull it back, gives a little more bottom end, and then you can take it all the way off, and you can make that thing be real sloppy if you wanted to. So in that Cajun or that New Orleans-y sort of thing that you want that drum to be kind of loose and you could do it really easy with that throw off and then crank it back up when you're doing something a little more articulate. Very, very cool way to do a throw off.
What was that drum you just showed? The different.
Oh, this one, it's a trick. That's a trick throw off, Dad. It's made by a company called Trick. Where are they? They're in the States?
They're in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, they're in the States. So they make a throw off that has 3 positions.
I'd like to have that in the studio back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 3 different snares, basically.
Yeah,
3
you can
different
make 3
sounds.
snare drums
You can
out
go
of one
fat and
thing.
deep on the lowest setting and then choke it basically right up without ever turning the knob. Just go up to the full setting.
And
it'll choke it to
I
articulate.
believe
like
those
you were talking
holes will
about.
also
It
fit on a
actually changes the
P85.
tone.
Yeah,
It fits on there so you can pop it
Yeah.
on any drum if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about these throw offs. I mean, now they got smart enough that they started putting the holes in the same place, so you don't have to, because all of us have, well, I know I have drilled some drums to put a certain kind of throw-off on there, and then you got an extra hole in your drum, you don't want that. There's also some companies that make a retrofit piece that actually fits on there, that you can put any throw-off on it, and then it'll fit on whatever drum you have, so you can move it around and do that. Because they know, like I said, I like the P85, I might wanna put a P85 on some drum that I have, and I don't wanna put any more holes in it, you can do that with that throw-off. You know, but that's kinda how a snare drum works. There's a lot to it when you break it down like that and look at it and think about all the different sounds, all the different ways you can make these drums sound different ways. And then you wonder why I have so many of them here. Because there's drums up there that are made of maple, there's drums up there that are made of walnut, there's drums made of cherry. All these woods have different sounds, just like all the metals have different sounds. And it's really kind of the one way, like, you know, guitar players can have, you know, a Fender Telecaster and a Fender Stratocaster and a Les Paul. Those three guitars right there sound completely different from each other. And for a drummer, the way that you really change your sounds are your cymbals, because you're going to play the same drums. Here's your drum set. You're not going to get in the middle of a gig and I'm going to change my tom-toms out. You know what I mean? You're not going to do that in a gig. But you can change your snare drum out, or you can have a second snare drum for your left side, right? Or you can have a drum that has multiple snare mechanism on it, so you can change the way your snare sounds. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with your snare drum to uniquely change things per the song. And we haven't even gotten into muffling it. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing. Like, I just ordered a ton of muffling type things from Big Fat Snare Drum. Big Fat Snare Drum.
Oh,
I ordered
Charles.
a pile of their stuff because they've got all kinds of weird little half moon pieces you can put on your drum to stop doing
Drums.
things.
Lizards or something.
Rings.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously, Zach throw me some, Ryan throw me some, yep,
Moon gels, of course.
yeah. So, moon gels, everybody seen these things? Everybody knows these things? Some people hate them.
Change the
Messy as
packaging.
hell.
Yeah, these
Clear.
Remo O's.
Yeah.
On the subject, turn around and grab that mahogany one behind you that I made, and guess what? It's still got the old. I put the felt dampener to your left. Yeah, both of them. They both have it.
Yeah, so that
But
was,
those things, they still make sense.
yeah.
They're rude and they look stupid and everything else, but you don't need a moon gel.
If you see
ever
inside
again.
there, you see that muffle in there?
Yep.
There's a knob on the side of the drum.
They work.
All the Ludwig drums from the
Moon
60s
gel,
had
they still make
those.
that stuff.
Everybody's had them.
I hate that
Yeah,
stuff.
there's one right there. In fact, you can get that retro. Oh, you need to take that with you because I want to put that in one. I got 2 drums in it. I need both of those. Brett's not getting them. I forgot. I'm taking them. But that muffle pushes up on the head and stops it from ringing, right? Quite frankly, the company that made the very best one of those was Tama. Tama made a model of this that you could notch up with different
Yeah.
tension. It was the very best because it stayed solid. Like a lot of those, after a while, they start to back
Bend,
down.
they start to
They start to bend. They start to back. That thing was the best. They put them on all of their bell brass snare drums.
I had one on a power line.
Oh yeah, it's killer. To me, it's the best one that was made, and they don't do it anymore. It's ridiculous. There's also one. Ludwig makes a baseball. What's called a baseball.
Ball bat,
Yeah,
Acrolite.
those
I
are
got
cool
one.
too, man. For an
They-
Acrolite, they're really
they're
cool.
good,
Those
though.
baseball ones, you can get those to do pretty good. But if you're hitting the drum pretty good, it's gonna pop off of there, no matter what. That's why that's what the one that Tama made was, to me, the best one that was out there.
They still make them on their reissue drums.
Oh, they do, or they are, huh?
The 50th anniversary snares
Yeah.
and the drum set I have. Well, the set doesn't have it. The snare has it.
Yeah.
You can get them brand new too if you want them.
No kidding. I didn't know they still had them out there. I didn't know you could buy those.
Yeah, I had the one I got used didn't have it anymore. Somebody took it out, so I ordered because of the anniversary.
Yeah.
Had to put it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get one of those because those things are amazing. They're really, really the coolest one that's out there. So, questions that I can answer.
You didn't talk
about the actual
It's a
snares on the
wonderful
bottom.
world.
Oh, you wanna talk about the snares?
Yeah, snare wires are pretty huge, with respect to.
They
all
do
the-
make a difference. So snare wires make a difference, and I'm gonna start with, you saw Dave's drum. Dave, what did I do with your drum? I give it back to you?
Right here.
Here, get it out. So Dave's drum has the simplest of the simplest snares. Steel, right? Oh no, you got
Yeah, I got
Pure
those.
Sounds on. So these are Pure Sounds at that's a 20, right? 20 strand.
Those twisted, Dave?
Yeah, I don't think
so.
that, no,
They
those
look
are
awful fat. Okay.
That's the standard, but the standard really is, no, it's not standard though. That's a standard steel, metal. That's what standardly comes on most drums. Now Barry's, if you notice,
Oh, I know why.
Is
I was
extended.
like, why ain't it? It's extended.
it's extended. If you notice, on any of these other drums that are sitting here, the snares are actually on the snare. If you notice Barry's, they're extended out to the far sides. I'm gonna show you where that all started. So this is this is a Rogers Dynasonic from the 60s. It's a 7-line. This is a brass snare, chrome over brass snare drum. If you notice, the hoop has there's a mechanism here that holds the snares. Now my dad had them do a retrofit so he could put these big wide 40 strands.
Yeah, buddy. That makes 400 of them. I do it.
Spread it around.
The 40 strand snare drum, right? So what happens is these snares actually mount to this mechanism, and then this mechanism is what connects to the butt plate and the throw off on this side. And the reason they put this on there is because when you if you set this thing, if these weren't on there, and you set this down in your case, it's going to wobble around, and it's going to break that piece, because this, unfortunately, is made of pot metal, and they break.
Pot metal, you say?
Pot metal, Dad, not pot, but pot metal.
Well, I was gonna say, I'd like to smoke one.
So they put this guard on there. They put that guard on there so when you sit it in your case, you wouldn't tear that thing up. Yeah. And so this is where those kind of weird mechanisms started.
And he's got a muffler.
So when they're extended to the hoop.
Yeah, they
what's
don't
the-
go over
is
they
it-
don't go over the edge like Barry's does. If
and
you
like,
look-
what's the
Which one you
advantage
looking
on
at?
that?
This one?
that one right there, they go over all the way over the top of the
Yeah.
drum. Now that's a very marching snare
Oh,
drums
it's
do
so
that.
very marchy. Yeah.
Because the cool thing about that, there's something good and something bad about it. Because they go all the way off the drum, if you pull them too tight, the middle of it's gonna pull out, right? So you have to be very careful with how you lay that thing in there, because you want that to go perfectly even, because you want your snares to lay across there properly.
Do you dare want to talk about sympathetic buzz? That's an hour-long conversation.
So
Thank you.
companies,
Blah, blah, blah.
we'll get into it in a second.
Some
I'm
other
gonna
time.
do this real quick. So companies like this is a Rogers Dynasonic standard. These are those regular metal ones that we hand around. These are Pure Sound. I'm not really sure if these things are brass. They're heavier in weight.
They're brighter, man.
Yeah, they are brighter. They got a brighter tone to them.
I
And
just
then
tried
that's a
it.
Dynasonic
I just put my
mechanism
first set of triple
with the snares
twisted
mounted on the Dynasonic mechanism.
snare
You
wires.
see that?
What a difference those are. Man,
Yeah.
they're beastly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pure Sounds I think are the coolest ones. I just ordered a bunch of a company called
What's that
Canopus.
down there he's got?
It's a Japanese company. Their snare
it's
wires
for
are
your-
supposed to be fantastic.
I think it's
I've
this.
never used them, but
So if you need a
everybody's telling me
replacement,
they're
you got one.
switching those
Oh.
over.
So they make their own.
Yeah, Canopus makes their own, and they're very robust. They make a bunch of different types, and all the vintage drums that are out there, you can't find, like, for my dad's Dynasonic or anything that's got a weird snare on it. Barry's has extended. I just ordered some for a Ludwig that I have that has a super sensitive on it.
Yeah.
One exception.
All of those, Canopus makes some snares for that, and I got those coming. They look really cool. They look very, very cool.
You gonna get any drums
Get
from
that
them?
replacement
Yes.
if you ever need one.
Yeah, and I had to, how did I do that?
They started making a
Machine
line of
shop
drums
to
that are
make
in
it.
that $400 price range. They're really
Yeah,
kind of cool.
was it?
Maple snares. I played one. It's really fantastic.
Nice for the
Something
money.
to do with
For the
hoop.
money,
They
they're
cut the
really
hoop
nice
out
drums.
and
Very
added-
well made. In fact, Canopus is bigger than Yamaha in Japan.
Dang.
That was,
Just
from
think
the
about that.
60s, and,
That's huge.
I was a speed freak
Jeez.
back then, so I really
How
don't
long
know
they
what
been in
happened there.
business?
They had to cut that-
How long they been in
had to cut
business?
that hoop out
For Canopus?
and,
Long,
do
long
away
time.
with
Yeah,
the
they've been making
part of
drums
it.
since
Been
they're-
around
I
for a
guess.
minute.
Yeah, long, long time.
I don't
They just
know.
didn't get over here.
Yeah, just over here.
That's
Just
how they-
floats.
Yeah,
That's
they're really
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Gary's supposed to come in and bring a bunch. He's got a bunch of stuff in
Type.
town. Buddy, my Gary, he's got a bunch of their drums.
So-
They're really nice.
Screw on
Are they
one of
using like
these.
Japan wood versus?
Yeah, yeah, they're
This
using
was
Japanese
loose.
stuff on it.
It's missing a
Yeah.
screw
So-
right here.
Yeah.
It's
There's
kind
still-
of
yeah,
like
they're
this
making
one
some
down
drums out of
so it
North
wouldn't
American wood,
flop
but most, a
around.
lot of it
You're
is
missing a screw there.
indigenous.
Big
Right,
Mac's
right.
getting
Yeah.
one for you.
You know, I just, Evanor
You
is
got it,
making
ain't
me
got
a,
it, is it?
It's threaded.
an
It's
applewood,
threaded.
made of applewood that's from a
That happened on
applewood
the road
tree
somewhere.
in Quebec, Canada. It's indigenous to them. They're building me a stave snare drum for me
Wow.
personally,
Wow.
out of their stuff with tube lugs on it, like the Evanor. But they're making me an applewood snare drum. I don't even know what that's gonna sound like. I have no idea.
That's a big
But
one.
everybody tells me the people who have them are saying they're amazing.
Apple.
Applewood, yeah, Quebec applewood.
That's
Hey,
cool.
the world's
It's cool that people are into that kind of stuff
Anything.
to
Yeah, you can get
try to
anything
get
you
the
want.
different tones, man.
Yeah,
It's
different
searching for
tones,
tone,
different
man.
things.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was able to go to Japan and go to the Yamaha factory when they were built at the Sakai Rhythm factory, which is in Sakai, Japan. The Sakai family had been building drums since the 1800s, and they built all of the high-end Yamaha drums there. And the weirdest thing was that the factory was very open, like just doors were open, it was very open space. When I was there, it was summertime, so it was kind of hot, but everything was open. And even the wood for the shells it was all outside. It was like I was going to a lumber yard. And they let us go out and pick the wood for the snare drum. I built a snare drum in Japan, and they let me go out there and pick the wood, and it was just laying there. They said just
Awesome.
select what you want grain wise, and we're gonna build this. I put the glue on the shell, we put it in the mold. At Yamaha, they do a mold that's a little different than some people. They put this mold, the drum goes in a mold this way, and then inside of it, they put a big rubber water bottle and fill it full of water. Then they put it in the oven and cook it.
Wow.
So got to follow that drum all the way down the line where they cut the bearing edges, they did the finish, and then we went upstairs and there was all of these Japanese ladies that put the drums together. All the parts were laid out. You could pick out, well, I want tube lugs, or I want this, or I want that. I chose the lug that's on that drum. That's a black one on the Yamaha. It's called a Nuvo lug. You can take the tension rod down and pull it down, and the lug comes loose from it. I put their aluminum version of that on my drum. It's really, really very, very cool. But you know, to see them put those plies together like that, I just pulled them off out of the wood pile, took them in there, stuck them in there. It was the weirdest.
What kind of wood was it?
It's maple. The one that I built was maple.
How many plies?
It was a 7-ply maple shell, pretty thin, had aluminum, like I said, the lugs were aluminum. They were making a die-cast aluminum hoop, which I have some in the back. They make a die-cast aluminum hoop. It's very light, but it's very strong, just like die-cast, but it makes the drum not so heavy. So I put those on there, put a simple throw-off on it. You know, I wanted a P85 type throw-off on there. But you could select anything. They had it all laid out on the top, and these ladies put it all together. They made a badge with my name on it, put that on the drum, and then there was a lady at the end, and she tuned to every drum that came out of that place. Every tom, every bass drum, before it went in the box. That was her job, to tune all
She
those.
what?
She tuned to every drum that came out of there.
What it sound like?
It sounds great.
After she tuned it, didn't it?
Oh, it sounded fantastic. Yeah, you got to play it. It was.
So is it a couple hour process or what?
Yeah, it was about a, yeah, the mine, I didn't put a spray finish on it. Some of the guys did a spray finish on theirs, but mine was like a hand rubbed finish, so mine was finished quicker.
Right, right.
Some of those guys had to wait for that stuff to dry when they did like a sparkle finish. But you can watch them spray the shell
So
and
when you
everything.
when it goes into that like oven, when you said with the water inside of it, so is that where it's curing? I guess.
Well, what
or-
happens? Every one of these companies do things differently. Yamaha, their process is the shell, the piece of shell is not like when the two butts of pieces of shell, they don't come together like this and it's a straight line. Every one of theirs is in an angle, and each one of those angles are in a different place in the drum. So when we put it together, I put the glue in, put the piece in, put my angle in a different place. So the angle on the outside one may have been here, but the angle on the inside one was in here.
Oh, wow.
So it makes the shell a lot stronger.
Gotcha.
Then they put that in there, cook it in this little thing, and it cooks that glue in there. And then when it comes out, it's hot. You know, when you get it out of there, it's hot.
What line was it like?
That's a trip.
Oh, that Maple Custom Absolute. Yeah, Maple Custom Absolute. That's what it was. That's what the line would have been. That's an absolute drum. Yeah.
I remember when Maple Customs first came out, everyone like, wow, because they just made birch up until then, and
Yeah.
old Luan
Yeah.
softwood shells,
Yeah.
which sound good, but they're just not really, you know.
Yeah, they don't stick. So Birch was recording custom, was Birch, and that's what they made drums out of. And they had like the lower end drums that Yamaha made at that time was like made of birch and mahogany. The inside ply was mahogany, which made the drum sound a little more rock and roll and bigger and fatter. But they still had the birch on the outside of the drum. Made it look kind of cool. The birch I think is a lot easier to work with, to paint and do a finish on than the mahogany is.
Birch are
Yeah.
a little easier to tune than maple, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maple's every sound, but once you get it dialed in, you know.
Yeah, and the birch is a more focused sound. Like I always say that if I go out and play a gig out of town somewhere, I love seeing a birch Yamaha drum set because for one I can tune it in no time, and I always know what I'm gonna get. I can put pinstripes on it and I know what I'm gonna get. I can put coated heads on there, I know what I'm gonna get.
Right.
Because they're just very consistent drums. Very good drums, very consistent. I'd rather see one of those than a DW, that's just me. Because a maple drum's a little tougher to tune than a birch drum is.
You gotta spend more time with it.
You do. Yeah, you gotta sleep with them, take a
Cuddle
shower
around,
with them.
Talk to him sweetly.
Ask Jeremy, he's got a DW drum set.
I never smoked Snare, but it was made of weed.
You gotta watch out. He smoked everything.
Still do.
But that Dynasonic that my dad has, he swears it's the greatest snare drum in the world, and it's a great snare. It really is a great snare drum. But he's owned a lot of snare drums in his life, but that's his favorite snare
And
drum.
Louis
Say,
Bellson
you
made
dance
those
with the
good
one that
deals.
brung
Dynasonic.
you?
Didn't they start making them for
Yeah.
him, so
Yeah.
he'd have something?
Why
Am I
can't-
wrong?
No, who, Louis? Yeah, the
They started
Dynasonic.
making them
That
because
sound
of
and
him.
Yeah,
Keep
that's
it.
exactly right.
But you started making.
He wanted a throw off that was more articulate than what everybody else was making, which is what that does. That makes a more articulate drum for sure.
Yeah.
No matter what.
They started making that drum
Yeah, I didn't know that.
because of your dad? Because of you?
Yeah, no, he didn't
He
start
made it
making. No,
famous.
Louis Bellson,
Oh.
not my dad.
Okay,
It
yeah,
could have been
I
my
was-
dad. It could have been my dad.
You and Louis, it's kind of the same.
Same result.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you're talking
I
about.
don't either.
I wish somebody had a fives
I don't
snare
want it.
drum.
Oh yeah.
Jarbo's got one.
Some guy was supposed to bring me one in here to do some trading with. He had a purple one, and I wanted it. I went to there's a guy named Steve Maxwell. I'm not related to him. We're not related
Yeah.
to him. He's got a place in Chicago. It's in like you only go there on Saturday. He's only open on Saturday. But he had the most 5 drums I've ever seen in my life. Like he probably had 50 drum sets and snare drums in this place of every color. Like and 5s, like Ludwig made certain colors, but 5s made a lot more colors than Ludwig did. But their shells weren't as cool as those, but they were heavier. They're much heavier. The lugs and everything were heavier on. A lot of people love the 5s drums.
He's got everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Steve's got everything.
Oh, he made all his money selling gas credit cards. And then he got rich from that and started a drum shop.
Doing drum shop, yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, he actually owned a shop in New York, and he owned Fork Drum Closet in Nashville. And he just sold Forks.
Yeah.
He just sold a place in New York as well, and now he only has a place in Chicago.
Some local Nashville guy bought Forks back.
Yeah, he's been working there for years. Yeah. So, but if you get a chance to go see Steve's place, it's only open on Saturday. It's only open for about 4 hours, but it's worth seeing because he's got some incredible things. Buddy Rich's kid, Willie Belson's kid. He's got all these really cool things in there, and you can buy stuff from him. He sells Craviotto, and but he has a lot of. I almost bought a vintage, actual vintage sonar kit from him, but I just couldn't get him to come down far enough for me. Too
There's
much
a
money.
Maxwell's in
Steve
Canada.
Maxwell in
There's a
Chicago.
Well, there's a Maxwell in Canada, Maxwell Music Shop,
Oh, there is?
and there's a Maxwell Music Shop in Florida or Alabama.
Really?
Because I was looking up your brother's shop before you opened up, and on the internet it brought up all these different places. So what am I calling? And I just dialed a number, and it was like, well, they're like, was it Quebec when I first called them? And I was like trying to find the right number, and I was like, but yeah, there's one at Maxwell in Canada,
Huh.
and Maxwell's Music Shop down in Florida too.
Wow.
Did you ever find the one next door?
Never found
Yes,
it.
I did. I managed to find that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, there you go. And then the other thing we didn't really talk about was sizing, right? That's a 13-inch snare drum. These are standard 14s. Standard is a 14, but they make them as small as these little 10-inch babies here. It's a little 10-inch snare drum. That's a 10-inch snare drum. Yeah, I talked about playing this drum and this drum set. This is a Daru signature drum set, and his thing was he wanted to have snares on all the drums except for the bass drum.
What?
Yeah. So,
Get out of here.
so snare drum is a snare drum. Mound sound is also a snare drum. Four times a snare drum as well.
DW Pro.
Bass
Put it on
drum's
a
not
kit.
Sorry.
I mean, why stop now?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I think they had a problem getting the throw off on there. That big old wood hoop on that.
That's true.
But yeah, so the whole thing's got snares on it. And each one's got a mechanism on it.
That's like a.
The
That's
idea,
like-
yeah, the
that's
idea,
very similar to the
They
DW
put
throw.
more than the drum.
yeah, the throws are, yeah, that's
It's
right.
like a little hip hop kit.
But yeah, it's a great little hip hop kit. But you can, a lot of people did this. You got that ring? Where's that ring at? I do it.
Over.
So you can put the ring on the floor tom, or change the head and put a real thick head on the floor tom. Make a big fat snare drum out of it. You know what I mean? So you can have your cracking snare drum, but you can also have that fat snare drum as well. So guys doing hip hop type things that wanted that sort of sound, you could do that. So that is the Daru drum set. Now
I
he
guess you
plays,
get kind of jazzy.
he plays
with that
his
too,
drums like
too.
this.
Those different snares like that. What?
You ever seen this guy play? You ever seen this guy play?
He's leaning
Bitches
over.
Yeah,
in
he's
the way.
leaning over the kit playing.
Yeah.
He sets his drums up like that, Dad.
What for?
I don't know if he's
He
trying to
reaches
get.
over the top and he plays them backwards.
He's an entertainer.
He leans over top of him and plays.
Sounds
What's
like
this
you
guy's
want that
name?
back
He
problem.
says it's more ergonomic.
Yeah,
I ain't buying it.
I think he's gonna have to have a back brace, is what I
He
think.
probably is, yeah.
Or some sort of surgery.
What's
one
his
of the
name?
two. Daru.
Daru?
Yeah, that's his picture. on the
Daru
front.
Jones.
Daru Jones.
There he is right there.
He's not small.
I have to check him out.
Yeah, he's cool. I've seen him play live, and it's really cool. And he uses the drum set very, very interestingly
Yep.
in that sort of giving that big fat sound, you know, like that. It's pretty unique. The only drum set I've ever seen with that many snares on it.
Does he play with a snare on all the time, or?
No.
Yeah,
He's
alters
turning
it.
them on and off as he's playing. Yeah, he's
It
turning them
wasn't
on
on
and off as
purpose.
he's playing. Yeah, cause he could, you know, he tunes his mountain tom up pretty high, so that you have like a real piccolo-y kind of sound there, and have more of a fat sound here, and then this will be a big fat low sound on this. So you can make the drum set sound like a bunch of different kits. And he does a lot of electronic stuff too. He uses a lot of electronics with this thing, so it's pretty cool. He's a cool guy to see.
So is it a band situation or is it just?
Yeah, he does
showcasing
both.
drums?
He does both. Yeah, he does both. The last time I saw him, he was doing his own thing, and he was in this tent, you know, outside this venue. He's playing inside this tent.
Oh, he's totally
It was
smoking
packed,
snares.
huh?
He's totally smoking snares, for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He's smoking snares for sure. He's smoking them for sure. Yeah. But he does a great thing, man. He's unique and cool. And who would have ever thought to put a snare? You know, a lot of even the Yamaha. My dad had a Yamaha hip gig. The hip gig snare drum, floor tom has a snare mechanism on it too. They were looking for something similar to that, where you can have that more fat kind of sound if you wanted it on the floor tom.
Are you familiar with the little tama? Makes a little, looks just like your fingers. It comes up from the side of the drum and can meet the head.
Yeah.
Adds a little snare.
It's like a little, it's short.
Little shorty, yeah. I
Yeah.
had got through.
They got that from the original cocktail drums. So a standard cocktail drum that was tall, I've got one in the back there, that's tall and has a beater that hits from the bottom. The beater goes up, they put the beater backwards so when you hit it, the beater goes up and hits the bottom of that, and they usually put inside that drum, because it's a tall floor tom, so it'd be, like that drum would sit up this high. The middle of it has a divider in there, so the bass drum sounds like a bass drum on the bottom, but the top head has a little snare mechanism that pushes up against the inside of the head. You've seen them on a cheap, like little cheap kids drums have those kind of, but it goes on side there so you can take it off and put it on,
Yeah.
and play brushes and stand up and play the drum set, so somebody can see it.
On the left hand side.
You know what I mean? And when people travel in New York and gonna play in a little club or whatever, they'll take those cocktail kits, drums, put it in the back of the cab and go to the gig, walk in there and play. You can put attachments on there for extra tom or a cymbal or something like that. But that's what a cocktail drum, that's kind of where all this stuff has come. They've tried to make these drum sets where they were small and a cocktail-y sort of thing, just like these, where you can get in there quick, set up fast, and,
That just seems like that's just taking away the effect of
Of having a
carrying in
big drum
500
set?
pounds of
well, yeah.
stuff in.
I think they started for people in big cities using public transportation,
Yep.
stuff like that,
Maybe they're
To
wise to the roadie.
get across town.
Yes.
and-
I
So my-
definitely get it,
yeah,
though.
so
Like,
my,
everything
yeah,
is
so
great.
my son lives in Brooklyn,
I
right?
love
My son
Martin
lives in
Handel.
Brooklyn, he
He
plays
went every
gigs
time, and I was like,
2 or 3 times
I love
a
that
week.
kid 'cause I can carry things.
And I send him,
I can carry
I'm sending him
things.
one of these kids, so that he can take it on the subway, because that has a backpack. You can put everything in it except for the bass drum. When the bass drum goes in a case, you carry your cymbals, you can jump on the subway and go play a gig, be ready to go.
That's the hardest thing
Easy for
in
me.
New York. It's the hardest thing to gig around. It's the
Yeah.
transportation. It's so
Try,
hard.
yeah, try to carry
Everything's
a
gotta be
drum
lightweight.
set, like a full-size drum set on the,
Stacked up in there.
Yeah, everybody thinks jazz drummers, oh, I like little bass drums. No, it's because they had to have a small bass
That's
drum
right.
to carry it around.
yeah, they had to throw it in the back of the cab or throw it
Exactly.
in the subway.
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's what's cool about these. They finally made these actually sound really good. If you put the right heads on them, these drums sound really nice. The bass drum sounds fantastic.
Have you ever seen one of those all wood drums made by Ludwig during World War II?
Oh, where the lugs and everything are.
Yeah, because
yeah.
the metal,
Yep.
you had to send all the metal to the army to the war. You
Yeah.
couldn't use metal. It was,
Yeah.
you know.
It's all
So
wood.
that-
The whole
yeah,
thing. The lugs are
everything.
wood, and in fact, it's even bored in. Like there's no swivel nut inside the lug. It's just it just screws right into it. It's very strange. The throw off's wood. Everything's wood.
I worked on one of those ones.
Yeah, they're
I
cool
wanted to
drums.
buy it.
Yeah,
Did-
it's kind of like.
Yeah, he had
Have
quite
you ever
a lot.
seen this thing? I'll hand this thing around. This thing is weird. So my dad has a drum that's made in Louisville in the early days.
There you go. One.
Oh, no.
We were just looking at that online here, and is that a duplex?
It is not a duplex. It is a. I'm have to look at the tag to remember what it is. It's a Lion and Healy. This was made in Chicago. So the idea here is in the old days.
Is that a calf head?
Yep, on top and bottom, it's got original heads and original gut.
Yeah.
Gut. These are gut. This is actually cat gut, wood, calf gut. That's what that is. So
Yeah,
these
you
are
got all this
actual.
stuff
These
up
are actual skins. These are skins off of cow, calf skin. You see the edges of it.
You got leather on it too.
Rawhide. Yeah, this is actually a gut, that's what that is.
Also, the strap that's
Yeah.
gut as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so if you notice, this thing's got, a billion tension rods on it, a billion lugs on it. This came from the build of a banjo. Typically, the companies who started making snare drums were banjo makers. And even the cat the dad has a drum that's made in 1800s, early 1900s. I don't remember exact date, but it's late 1800s, early 1900s. He's got a drum that's made in Louisville by a banjo maker, and that's what this is.
You what?
I said, we should have brought that drum, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
That's why Ludwig made their early plastic heads, he called them Weathermaster.
Yep.
Because the thing was, they'll stay in tune in the weather.
Yeah.
Those wouldn't.
If that thing, it's like
I
a,
didn't know
it's like
that.
a conga. It's like a conga or a djembe.
Weather King.
Yeah, if that
Weather
us guys were carrying those things
Yeah.
around in New York City, you know, you have to heat the head up to get it to tighten back up. Yeah.
That's why they put light bulbs in them, wasn't it?
It was like that bass drum up there. It's got the light bulbs inside it. That's a lot of the reason
That
why they
and
did
it
that,
just
to heat
looks
those
cool.
heads up.
That's back when you had a real nice
Right.
painting. Everybody had a different painting on
Yeah.
the front of their drum.
Yeah, that was the way to make your drums look cool, was to put a cool painting on there. Somebody hand paint that one. That one's obviously a volcano, and the reason that it has a light at the bottom is it makes it look like the volcano's erupting. So it has two lights in it, one that just stays on all the time, and the other one comes on. Everybody's trying to make themselves look cool.
It
It
worked.
does.
Yeah.
That's a calf skin head on that one. That one up there's a calf skin head. And that big 36-inch bass drum up there, that's calf skin heads on both sides of that thing too.
That's all we had back in the 50s, I guess it was.
Yeah. Until Bob Beals
Yeah.
and Remo Belly started making heads. That's
Yeah.
when it all changed. Those cats were the head innovators.
So hey Max, don't you hate it when you're watching a movie in the 50s and the drums are from the 80s?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing?
And everybody else goes, nobody cares about that but you. Yeah, but there's a million drummers, so obviously they do. Dave, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, why did they do that?
Great big 80s Ludwig logo on the drum
Dave.
set and Coal Miner's Daughter. Supposed to be in the 50s? No!
Yeah.
No.
For me, the drum set is right up there with tires squealing and gravel and dirt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw one the other day, a brand new movie, and it was screaming on the dirt road.
Yeah,
Like, what is? Who did this?
It's like, why
Is he
after
not an
all
expert?
these years has somebody not said to them, hey, just, because that's all it's gonna do. Go out there with a microphone and record somebody spinning tires in dirt and gravel and use that.
Yeah, why don't they do that?
But I'm with you, Dave.
Or in like Star Wars when like the Death Star blew up and it's fire and smoke. You need oxygen for that. There's no oxygen in space. Come on.
Wow.
I'm with you on that one.
Well, it looks cool, but there's not.
Never thought about that one. Dave went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
gonna be
hey,
quiet.
I'm gonna tell you this. My friend just played on a movie that they just filmed out at Churchill, and he told me that he used his period drum for that period film because it was like a 50s or 60s, I think.
The new
I don't know.
Hallmark movie.
Yes.
How'd I know that?
How'd you know that? Were you out there? You're not in it.
No.
You're one of the cowboys out there riding a horse.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
But yes, it's a Hallmark movie. But he played on it and he used his period drum, which I was very proud of him. I said, I'm very proud of you. Now I have to tell him Dave Williams is proud of you as well.
Exactly.
He'll be like, yeah, that's got the right drum set on here. All right, there you go.
All right,
What do you got for me?
I got a question.
All right, I'll see if I got it.
Does it make a difference whether you use
half the time.
string,
Yeah.
nylon strap, or
Whatever they're
ribbon?
doing on screen doesn't match up.
What?
Or shoestrings, or tape,
She
or.
knows
Well,
that. I've
yeah,
heard this
if
argument.
you use shoestrings or tape,
she
I would
knows that half
say,
the time they're not-
you're
you're
probably
just
not, it's not gonna last
finding
very long.
stuff.
It's gonna, for one thing,
Are they really funny?
it's all about
I like to look at it for a second.
the thickness of whatever you put there. If you put some shoestrings on there, it's gonna make that snare stick off the drum, right?
True.
And the only thing about string is that string can break. If you're going to tie it, use a metal type, a piece of wire instead of that. But a lot of people are using the tape. I think the tape works really well, or a strap, as they call this. And they're usually plastic. There's some that are,
Plastic stuff is so slick.
yeah.
I used to use a center core out of riding a bicycle. Center core.
Oh, you mean out of a brake system?
Yeah.
Yeah, a brake system out of a bicycle.
Oh,
Thin,
I
thin
bought,
wire.
years
cable,
ago,
yeah,
I
the
bought,
cable,
I think
yeah.
it was Trick,
Yeah.
it was like little cables.
That's what it is.
Instead of,
You hook
but
this
it
on your
cut
belt.
into it was cut into the
Belt.
You
the
gotta put
bearing
some-
edge.
You gotta put some,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's why I need to wear this
Take
around
the
next time I
scissors
go
and
out.
cut up
Go
your
out for
drum
dinner with
mats
my
and
kids are
make
like, what is that?
Dude, I bought so much
It's
ribbon
done.
now.
Do the guts.
All I use
I like ribbon.
is,
I like
is,
ribbon.
is the gross green ribbon. I've bought it and I've got a stack of it this high sitting on the shelf in red and purple and blue and green and orange and
what are
black.
you talking about?
I would.
Underwear?
Yes, that's what he's
Panties.
talking about, Dad.
Mostly.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of different colors of underwear, yes.
I just.
You wanna see 'em?
Brown myself.
Yeah, well, they should be brown because then you don't see the skid marks,
Hey,
right?
They weren't brown.
I know where
They
that
are now.
I know where
He's
that.
talking
Molly,
about this
where you
strap.
going?
I gotta leave a little bit early, I didn't wanna interrupt you.
That's not permissible. Get
You
back
didn't
in
present
here.
me your drum. I didn't take your drum and present it.
Do you want to?
If you want me to,
I'll pick it up a little later or something, right?
well, you're gonna come by tomorrow anyway, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
You don't run me off yet, so.
No, not
Probably.
yet. So this is a simple Pearl export snare drum. About as simple as you can get. It's a
Like
good
something-
sound of snare drum. It's a great sound of snare drum.
Man,
Pearl muffler.
Yeah.
Yep.
You notice.
Oh, they came out.
You notice. Wait a second. So on a Superphonic, which I don't have one here because I've sold all the ones I have, there's a ring on there, right, on each of those. That is where the magic of the Superphonic sound comes from.
Yep.
Period.
Yamaha has it, but
Whether it's
they're
brass, I got some out in my car. I should buy me. But doesn't matter whether it's a brass one. Everybody has tried to duplicate that, and quite frankly, Pearl is the closest one. I think is the close. Don't you think, Dave?
Man, what a drum! The sets a tone for the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great drum.
The Black Beauty version, you're getting the Black Beauty for half, just because it doesn't say Ludwig on it.
That's right.
But-
That sounds great.
But they don't sound exactly, but they're that
They're
close.
so
They're very,
close.
very close.
Yeah.
Very close. Feel the same, sound the same, but that ridge in there they put in those drums makes a big difference in the sound quality.
Didn't Pearl do that on those old Jupiter snare drums? Remember that?
No, because yeah,
I got one.
They were great. Chrome over brass.
yeah. Jupiter, that's crazy.
I got one. I just got it early last year, I think.
Is it old or a reproduction one?
No, it's an old one. Yeah, it's a
Flat nose.
76, I think.
Didn't the guy in Kiss play on that?
Regular.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Peter
did
Criss
Peter
had it.
Chris, yeah, Peter Chris, yeah.
I don't think I would use that, but whatever.
Stuart Copeland. He always played Tama drums, but his snare drum was a Jupiter. And eventually, Tama made him one.
Oh, yeah, they're going.
They were able to match the sound enough that, but he still has that Pearl snare drum.
So do you think if Stuart Copeland, somebody you guys would come see if I got Stuart Copeland in here?
Are you kidding?
Did I say that?
Speaking of that, is
I
anybody
think we
going?
did.
Is anybody
Yeah, one
going
of my
to the
favorites.
Copeland thing?
Although-
With the orchestra?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on trying to get him to come and do it.
Cause you got
I
Tama,
mean,
so
is
you
anybody
can.
going to see him with the
Oh, I thought
orchestra?
he said
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
Are you?
I'm gonna go.
anybody here going?
I'm going to see him with the orchestra.
I watch all his blogs
I'm
and
definitely
interviews.
gonna see
He
him.
is a wild.
Where's he gonna be?
He's gonna
Downtown?
be at the
Kentucky
Kentucky Center.
Huh?
Yeah,
Which
there's
is,
only,
he's got a
handful of
group.
tickets
Yeah,
left.
he's gonna do it with the orchestra, but he's got his own little group that he's been touring with.
Is anybody else going?
I just bought a ticket the other day.
I'm going.
Cause I said something to my wife, she goes, I don't wanna go see that.
They got some singles.
Going where?
I bought one for
See
some
Stuart
friends.
Copeland.
My,
at the Kentucky Center for the Arts.
the other thing you should really
Oh,
consider
like
going
55.
to this year is going to the Music City Drum Show in July. It's the 18th and 19th of July. It's 2 days, a Saturday, Sunday.
In Nashville?
Yeah, tickets are $20 to go to it, and it's got tons of vintage drums and tons of new drums. This is where I found Lucky, that copper drum set that I've got over there. It's where I found this drum. It's a Wheat Company. This is where I found this company. But all the majors are there. Sonar's there, Mapex is there, Dixon's there, Ludwig's there.
So-
WFL the third is there.
Is he gonna be there?
Oh yeah, he'll be there.
He's
Yeah.
an alright guy.
Field
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah, I'll be there on Sunday. I gotta play a gig on Saturday, and I can't go down on Saturday, but I'm gonna go on Sunday. But you can see it. You can see everybody there. The last year I saw Max Weinberg down there. Bissonette was there. Jay Weinberg was there. Just a ton of people. I bet Daru will be there. That back problem. Doing that back problem. He'll be walking around like this.
He's definitely gonna have it.
And walking around like this.
He's gonna have drumsticks for his little canes.
But it's $20. It's worth going to. It's a
The
great
big giant
show.
ones.
The
You're
big giant
going.
drumsticks. Yeah.
There you go.
When is it?
It's the 18th and 19th of July. July 18th and 19th.
Is it something you can just show up and
Yeah, just buy a
buy,
ticket.
pay admission?
Yeah, you can buy stuff from there too. So if you're looking for gadgets or widgets or all the weird stuff, you know, most of all the manufacturers will be there. In fact, this is bigger than the NAMM show drum-wise. This is bigger than that. It's become the new NAMM show for drums.
Doesn't Nashville just have a vintage store as well?
They do have a place called Nelson's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nelson's is a only vintage shop. They just started selling it.
What's he
Yeah,
talking
he's
about?
done a good
Big as
job.
an AM show.
He's talking about like big drum shows for all the manufacturers to come in one
It's like my
place.
dad's under.
Then drummers can walk around in there, especially dealers.
Yes, Nashville has Nelson's Drum Shop there. It has Drum Supply there, and it has Forks. Forks is a really kind of a new shop, mostly all new equipment, some used but not vintage.
They got
Mostly-
Nelson's
that's mostly
is
new.
vintage, huh?
Forks is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is.
Yeah, but Nelson's is really cool. You'll see things in there. They just had a North drum kit on there, like the one my dad's got up there. They had a white North kit there of recent, and they've got tricks on. If you've never seen a tricks on drum set,
Oh, wow.
they make the bass drum that's flat on the bottom and then it goes around on the top. They also make the cone shape where the top head is bigger than the bottom head. Really weird drums.
Who made the floor tom that looked like a comma or something? It went from like 6 inches up to 18 inches.
I don't know about that.
You don't know what I'm talking? You never seen that?
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Oh, I gotta find that picture. Send
I
it to
can't
me.
remember
I
who
did
it
show
was,
it,
but yeah.
Is it a floor tom like this, but it's big on the top and
No,
little on the
no,
bottom?
no.
it's big over here and it comes down like a paisley or something.
Where are you gonna get a head for that?
From them,
From a cow, it stretches down. I don't know. Well, same with the tricks on. It's got the flat, you know.
Oh yeah, you can buy those heads.
I mean,
what's the idea?
it's an old drum. The
Yeah.
pictures that I've seen, it's an old drum, but
Yeah,
it's
definitely an old vintage thing.
yeah. You've seen it, right?
I've seen 'em,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Not in
I would
person,
love to
yeah,
see somebody
pictures.
just play from the. I think it's 6
The big
inches.
side to the small side.
Yeah, because it would have to be like going around a kit, but it's just one drum. It's got like I don't know 6 legs on it or something.
The thing that the true tricks on drum had the bass drum had a rack that came out of the sides of it that
Yep.
the tom sit on top of, and he had like a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and a 10-inch tom, and a 14 floor tom, and then the bass drum was flat on the bottom and it was like a kidney almost. Very interesting, but you can still get the heads for that thing.
I did a show at the fairgrounds with Sam the Sham, Pharaohs,
Oh,
Wooly
you've
Bully.
seen that.
Willy Bully, yeah, dude.
And
yeah.
that drummer,
I was gonna look it up
he had
too.
a damaged looking set. I couldn't
never
even
seen one
explain
of
it.
those before?
Willy Bully.
Ever seen that?
You don't know what it was?
No, I don't
Never.
remember what it was, but it was a weird looking
See
thing.
that? See that?
And that's a real drum.
Did your band play with him, or you
Do what?
played
That's a
with
real
that band?
drum?
Yeah,
No, our band was playing with their band.
Why, I don't know, but.
Two different bands.
What is it called?
Kidney shaped drum. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, Sam and Sham used to use those.
Yeah.
I've seen that picture.
I'll tell you something else, though. We might be able to, I was telling your mom
Right
about,
over it, like,
who was it that did, da 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 da.
The Ventures.
Who?
The Ventures.
Hawaii 5-0 song?
The Ventures.
The
Yeah,
Ventures.
the Ventures, yeah.
The
Ventures.
Ventures played
No,
that.
it wasn't the Ventures.
Yes, it was.
The one that did,
The Hawaii 5-0 song.
huh?
Were you talking about the Hawaii 5-0 theme song? Da, 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 da.
Hawaii 5-0 theme song, is that what you're talking about?
I don't know if it was Hawaii 5-0, I guess it was.
That's
what
the
it
Ventures.
sounded like when you did it.
If not, then I
Well, anyway,
misunderstood.
he died. Him and Al Blaine were real good buddies, but anyway, he died not too long ago, and his wife moved here.
Oh.
In fact,
Palmer.
Yes, Earl Palmer.
who?
Earl Palmer.
Yeah, Earl Palmer. And his wife has moved here, and she came to the store the first time, and we had a good conversation. And I told her if she would give me something of his, and she did. She sent me it was a real nice, expensive sports coat. And the next time she sent me a monogrammed shirt.
Wow.
That she was a
Yeah,
real
Max
nice
has
lady.
them hanging back there.
Yeah, I got him back there.
He's got them hanging back there, I saw him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I stole
Yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah.
I,
See, I stole them the other day when I was over there.
that's all right. You didn't like that. I'll get a pair of his underwear.
Oh my god.
Back to that, here we go.
I
You
offered
can,
you
you'll
some
keep
of
going.
mine,
I
you
won't
didn't
steal
want
those, I promise.
Those actually
I
be
will
worth
not steal
more
those.
than
Those
the
are yours.
jackets.
Yeah.
But she, believe it or not, she lives across the river.
Why'd she move here? She have family here or something? Or?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, she had a daughter that
She had
lived
daughter
here.
that was here, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was thinking it was the Honor Palmer, the golfer. That
Yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking maybe there was a connection.
There could have been.
I
It's
don't, no,
possible.
I don't think so. He
You know?
was black.
There's
and-
Carl
and-
Palmer.
Oh.
Hey, Mom, look.
It could have been.
Hey.
It's possible, but
Well,
unlikely.
let's
Different
have her
time
here as
period,
a
though.
guest.
Different
Possible,
time
but
period.
unlikely.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
the-
you know.
There's the two, you know.
Things do happen.
Yeah, but Earl Palmer, just so you know, was in New Orleans, right?
Oh, he's a
All right?
New Orleans drummer.
He was drummer from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
And Hal met him and said, "Man, you need to move to L.A. You can work all the time." And so he did. He went out to L.A. and he became. If Hal couldn't do the session, Earl did the session.
Oh, wow.
That's how it worked. If Hal couldn't do it, Earl did it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And he
But
played
she
on a
lives
ton.
over, not where you are, she lives in Indiana.
New Salisbury.
Hey, which
Yeah.
one? You taking that one back? Which one are you taking back?
But I'll see if I can get her to come to something like this, because I'm sure there's a million questions when you find out what he did as a musician. She's got a lot of,
Do a lot of records.
she's a nice lady.
So we're gonna hopefully have Gary come in here and actually show us how to build a snare drum sometime.
Yeah, we'll build one right here.
Yeah, just bring your stuff down here, put it in the back
I
of the
could
truck.
do a slideshow. Ken, you got something like a
A
casket
slide, you mean a
too?
slideshow, like the
That
old.
little round thing?
Yeah, one of those, yeah, we're gonna put it on
Grade
one of those.
school. Next.
Yeah,
Next.
click, click, yeah.
You know, around here, if you talk about a slideshow, they think that you're talking, you know, a
Slide
slide.
guitar, yeah, Hawaiian.
I like
Steel-
those.
steel
That's
guitar.
cool. Yeah, it'd be more
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, you can bring your slideshow and.
That's all I got. I mean, I
You
can't
can bring a
build one.
slideshow and show us how to build a
I
drum.
guess you could bring up one in different stages of completion.
Yeah.
You can do it like that. Say,
Yeah.
here's what they start out as.
that's
Here they are
easy.
glued
Yeah.
up together. Then this is what you do to turn them to the size. And then
I'm gonna have you make me one out of Osage orange.
Very edge. No, that's way too hard for me. You still want black walnut, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Did you give me hoops?
I did.
You gave me hoops?
I thought I did.
Okay.
I thought
I
you
got a
gave
whole
me
bag
some,
of hardware. I was looking.
Maybe I didn't give you hoops and I gave you hardware only.
So you shape the drum, everything, the whole entire thing.
He's gonna do the whole thing. He
Oh,
puts
yeah.
all the wood together, starts from
Oh,
scratch.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it. These are his drums here.
Hey!
That scratched one is his.
Look,
Character.
I make
every drum's got a scratch.
snares are easy. I
It's
make
supposed to.
full sets, and that's a
Gives
little
it some
harder.
character.
Where you do this at?
He only did it one time.
John said on blood.
I think it's just.
That's true, or the blood.
Yeah. Bar the blood.
Himself, but-
I actually sold that drum, so there's no blood left.
That
I
was
think I
fair.
kept the head.
No
in the
blood
back.
on his
I'm gonna
hands.
have you.
Do these
I'm gonna have you
drums in
sign the
Indiana?
head
Were you-
with blood.
Yeah.
Were you here for one of the
Indiana
jam nights that he has, karaoke nights?
No,
or
I don't
whatever?
play drums. I just come up here for a little bit, but I love
Yeah.
drums. I started off playing drums when I was a kid.
Okay,
And that's
yeah,
what
I
I- that's how
made
I got
that
into
black
music.
walnut set over there in the corner, and that's, I made
That
a
one right
couple
there,
big
the black
sets.
gloves on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the black
I'm
gloves,
gonna hold you there, that's fine.
the black, hoops.
The one up
Oh,
there?
the ones in the corner. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are sharp.
We played them on the floor here a couple times.
And what kind of wood's that?
Black walnut.
It's a walnut. Yeah.
Tell you what.
So I do construction, so I've been into trim carpentry and stuff like that, and I've done a lot of tables, custom tables for people,
Heavy
and
ass drum, huh?
do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I was a
Yeah,
woodworker.
I gotta go in the back. I'll be right back.
You know, with guitars, it's the same thing. Just
Yeah.
you know, it's
I
the
think
love
I
of,
could
the
build a
love of
guitar
wood.
if I set my sights on it a little bit, but
It's
I was a
fine.
woodworker my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I started playing drums
Rainbow.
like just 6 years ago.
Depends
So
on,
then I just
depends on where I'm
merged
playing,
into
where
it. I'm like, I want a better drum set. I'm
because I
gonna
play
build
a
it.
lot of small places
Because
and use it.
I didn't really care for everything that was out there, and that was
There's,
expensive. And I said, you
I've
know,
got a half
I'm just
dozen
gonna
different
make
things
my own
I've used.
drums.
I've got little,
No, that's cool. It's really cool that you went the next step.
some kind of
got
weight,
into it.
what it's
You
called,
know,
it
it's
clips
something-
It
on.
just turned
Oh,
out
the stairways?
Yeah,
to be
snare weight.
perfectly
I've looked at
easy
those
in my
before.
opinion.
They're okay.
There was
I don't,
nothing
I don't hate
really
them.
to it that was difficult.
Like drops, painting them, or are you just keeping them all?
Drops,
open?
I have not
yeah.
used
No, I
drops,
use
so it's really
a
intrigued
ceramic, a clear ceramic. It
You can take an old
actually
head,
bonds with the wood.
and I like to
From
use, take
Sweden.
a
Okay.
two-ply
They
head
invented it. It's an
and
oil,
cut the,
but it bonds with the lectin in the wood
the ring
and
off,
then becomes
and use
permanent,
the
like
inside that ain't been
ceramic,
beat on,
they call it.
because it's just
So
clear.
But
So
it-
you can use it
And
like
you can cut it
in
to
Sweden,
whatever size.
well, they started marketing it in the U.S. It's called
What?
It's the
Rubio
perfect budget
Monaco.
method.
It came out of the
It's the
Florida
perfect
product.
budget
That's
method.
what I was gonna say.
I mean, it is. I don't do it a lot, but I have.
It
Just
molecularly
have,
bonds with the
because
wood
I-
and then turns to ceramic. and
Somewhere,
it's very
somewhere through
durable.
the years, I
Very
acquired a
tough.
ton of
And it's
So
a
if you
really
wanted
nice
to do a
wood.
wood, if you want to do like a wood
time I
top,
spent
that's
it
something you can put that on there.
people would bring drums in with them wood.
You could.
So it's on there right now?
Yeah, this is just a really like a flat finish.
Yeah.
But that's
And
actually sealed.
I had
I would
couple of
have
them
spit on that. It wouldn't go into the wood. Not oil.
I just,
That's all done. I don't need to re-oil or anything.
Ironed it.
So it's,
So is it a rub on it? Just rub it like that?
Use it
Then
go
pot?
around.
yeah, just rub it
It's,
on and let it sit for a half hour.
over in
and then
Louisville,
rub the excess off.
Firstborn and.
You're done. I
Six
do
Mile Lane.
the insides and the outsides.
Well,
Both.
there was a big
So it's completely sealed. I do the bearing edges,
I
everything
do
with
that
you.
with some guitars.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's three
I would think it would
300.
be.
No, this stuff is like 150 a quart. So it goes a long way.
Yeah, I would say it goes. It probably
Until you
goes-
start doing floors, then it gets to be like, oh my God, this is gonna cost $850 to do this kitchen. And then you start thinking twice about it, you know.
Going to their dad.
So
But it's the longevity of the show though is,
oh, permanent.
yeah.
It's permanent.
Do it on the floor, it's one of those things you're not coming back and finishing it.
I did my kitchen floor,
Kind
and
of phased me out, but it wasn't.
it did cost a lot,
They said clean
but
this
it's been
room
very
out.
durable. And if anything ever happens to it, like a big scratch,
So I've got.
you can sand it out, get back down to bare wood, and then just recoat it, and it blends right in with the other
That's
stuff.
love right there.
I sold mine. I got a bunch more to sell.
Yeah, if I ask you about how am I ever gonna call you? You're gonna call me.
I saw her pictures on that.
Somebody is gonna.
Whose pictures?
My wife.
You sit down there, I'll take both y'all's pictures.
Oh, think of that. Yeah, man.
I haven't gone through all of it,
Oh, let me get this.
but
I
I
think
will.
somebody's in there.
That's how my snare drum collection got
Is it back there?
big. Because I was
Yeah, Chad was cool. He can play.
I worked
Yeah,
here.
it's about down.
Still got that beautiful smile. That's what I saw over there, and I went, oh my God, I didn't believe it's him. I hadn't seen him in
I didn't have one, never had a work.
It's been a long time. I've
30
been
years?
overseas. I've seen
Probably since the nineties,
a couple of times.
the nineties maybe.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was over at the old place before you all left. I think.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
Margo was
before
there.
that. Yeah, I think
Margo
so,
was
yeah.
there. I think this might have been last time I was there.
Yeah, I think so.
David, I just want to say hi.
She's doing good. She's
I,
in Florida.
you played my drum kit last time you was down here.
Oh, you the guy that made that?
Yeah, and I got so much mileage out of that. My buddies were loving that song you played that night. They said that guy, he's got it going on.
Thank you. Well, I don't play every song that long.
I know
I was
that.
just
I know
I was
that.
feeling it.
Hey,
That's a nice Why'd you use all the hardware? Because you had my hand. Or you
I think it's the best hardware going, in my opinion. And I like the dog bones. You know, the long lug. So I like this list.
I like their newer strength.
Pretty low when I was shooting that.
Yeah,
Like that.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. It's our first attempt.
Start classic.
We'll test again. We'll test again next week with the
But I
karaoke.
thought the view was good.
Yeah, it looks
What
really
I like
good.
is
Yeah.
I like the tom mounts.
Where do you want to get this picture at?
Considering.
Bobby,
That's just two things right there I gotta
Aiden
have.
Bobby.
And, those tom mounts, like these rubber balls, Gary, anything.
Everything sounds good.
I got a set of Star Classics, and they're hard to beat. I keep my eyes open for them. I can find a deal on either Superstar Classics or Star Classics.
I bought one of those.
You know, this conversation about birch, I just love birch drums. You know, all those MIJ, those made in Japan drums, they were all birch for the most part. Birch and Luan.
One for MIJ last year was to play because that's all we could afford.
And it's and then, now it's turned into a classic sound, and everybody's playing it.
I bought an old Stewart shoes. I had some Stewarts and I was good. I saw that. I'm buying that now. It's gone. But good heads up.
Yeah,
You're just not as loud because the drums are off.
the young kids are catching on. They're like, they want to play these old songs.
They're going to make one of these.
It seems easy enough to put together.
Run you off of them. You can't even touch
We
them.
do, like at his place, we do like community kind of thing too, playing drums. So that's why I got like a hot spot. People throw on different snares and they want to come up on the pin, and that's an easy way to like.
Good to see you, my man.
Hey, Snare too, bro.
Yeah.
The chair's holding me.
I tricked out my, because I
Just got all my stuff with all the smart locks on it, so it all just locks in the same spot every time.
So, I'm different heights.
Much easier for small brain.
Yeah, I play 7s and 8s. They like to do it for 5s.
Mark, you know it's.
I do samples of these. Yeah, let me get this snare out.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Well, I bought extra springs, and I don't know how many that it would fit on, but I did shorten this quite a bit so I can get the spring in there. So I can take it all apart, cut off the tube, you know, and I like this Omnis.
I was just rocking, dude.
These Pearl Omnis.
People are crazy.
I've got a few of those.
It's a good kit, and now make them out the ball, and that would work too.
Turn on y'all, man.
That's a rough
It's a
time.
simple idea.
What are you doing? Get in here.
Just really works great
Get in here.
studio.
We don't got very many
Because
left.
I haven't done
Done
those, I
already.
have like 4 guys.
Let's take a picture. Everybody get in here. We're gonna take a picture. Bobby, get in here.
I'll get in it.
Yeah, you're in here.
Not mama.
No,
Mama's like you.
Mama gets to pick at least,
That's all right.
whatever she wants.
I'm gonna get them back so I can.
Hey, honey, come over this way. Come over this way. So you can be in the middle.
Hit it, but I think I like it.
Oh my God, right here.
I guess.
Turn around, don't face me. Turn around, face me.
Whatever Max says, I'll do it.
Okay. Whatever Max
All
says.
right, what are you doing? Sitting down?
I don't know, you want me to?
Yeah, just sit right there.
Oh, we're doing a picture?
You say one thing there. Whatever Max is the
Sit down
opposite.
so back.
Is there smoking space?
Just push your hair down, man.
Sure you don't want to stand
You
up?
see Barry?
Stand up.
I just see
Do
that.
like this. Do you like this?
There we go.
He's wanting to sit on my lap.
Yeah, well, I would, but you know, I'm a big boy, so. You good? Is that gonna be good for you?
Yeah. Alright, everybody look over here. Everyone's having a great time.
That's right.
Okay, now put your hands up like you're smoking snares.
Smoking a what?
Smoking a snare.
Ryan gets it.
I don't know what that means.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming.
joke from earlier.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming.
So what kind of tickets was left on that token?
So I only got a single edition. There are some more.
yeah.
Well, that's fine. I feel like I talked to you last time. We can talk to you again.
Long time ago, didn't you?
Yeah, he can.
He's like, yep, that's the one. You was right. 100% right on that. Oh my gosh.
Still got a couple singles in the grand champion.
Excuse me. You got a trash can.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. You live in Indiana, Kentucky? What?
Louisville.
Louisville, do you?
Technically, I'm over in Oldham County right now.
Okay, yeah. I live Eastern Parkway in Preston.
Okay.
Right there by the Z Bar.
Yep. I know exactly where that
That's
is.
my little area. Right over a little bit. Got like a house that's got a little studio down the side, down in the basement.
Very nice. That's very convenient.
Yeah, it's a control room to where I put my computer and software and all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then the room with the gear in it, it's just open, you know. But it's about this tall ceilings or whatever. So that's close for me.
I was about to say you're a little bit taller than me, so I'm sure that's nice.
No, it's cool. So,
Nobody went, none of my buddies.
yeah, so I just do my thing, and I've been living over there for like 3 or 4 years now.
It's nice to have a good space like that.
Yeah, it works. That was the
You gotta do that. You can't.
whole point of moving in there, actually. It was cool because I didn't realize how
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was down in the basement checking it out. It was all
Talk to you
dry,
soon.
it smelled
Thank
bad.
you.
I said, what's that doing right there? He goes,
You're
I
welcome,
don't
Dad.
know. And I was like, open it up. And I was
Don't come back. Don't come back again.
It was cool. It was like, you know, I've been able to, my neighbors are cool. I'm able to jam until like, 11 or 12.
Reasonable time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a brick home, so I put
We need to go.
insulation.
We need to go gear.
Well, I was gonna say,
We need to run up gear.
It's not really a problem for anyone but the drummer.
Yeah. But, you know, it's cool. Like, I swear, like, my neighbors, when I first moved over there, she's older. And she was like, honey, I just want you to live your life, live the best life you can. I was like, I can't believe she said just live the best life. I was like, too kind. She was too kind. Well, it finds out that she sleeps on the opposite side of the, so. So it worked out good. It worked out real good.
It does work out well.
Yeah. So,
You ever seen Daru play?
but yeah, he said mentioned that you might be looking for some stuff. You're hardcore,
Yeah,
basically.
I've been in a lot of heavy metal bands.
Yeah,
He
that's
sent
cool.
me a couple things you got, and I was like,
Yeah.
my last band was like that fast hardcore, lots of D beats and two-step beats. And I was like,
Yeah. I love all that stuff. My bass player, he's a big metal head, and he was in a band called E Flat for a while. He's been in the metal scene for a long time. His name's Eric Otto, and he came a couple years ago. I ran into him, and he said he was looking to do something a little different for metal. And I said, well, I got a project, and I'm trying to work on it. So he ended up becoming my bass player, and he's a really cool dude. He's got every bass you can imagine, all the rigs.
that's always fun.
Super nice guy. Owns an HVAC company, so he stays busy.
Awesome. Stays busy and's got plenty of money
Yes.
to get all the bases.
Yeah, and he doesn't like. He's not a snob about stuff, and he just loves music. And he'll do whatever it takes, you know, to get it to happen.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's why I've been. I got this. I have a Corsair that's playing drums, but it's just. He doesn't really. He doesn't really care if he's playing or not.
I can understand that.
You know, and he's busy too. He has a production company, and that's why it's sensitive. So he's busy with that. And he's a boilermaker, so he stays super busy. But there's just that enthusiasm of wanting to play drums is absent. You know, so
That, it's important to have that, especially for any degree of heavier music.
I mean, drums is my passion. I love it. And so being around drummers, I love. You know, I mean, it's so cool, man. You know, and I love drummers that like to keep it basic, but they also like to put their feels and stuff and make it come alive. You know what I mean? Because songwriting, you know, I write from basics, you know, and then I just fill it in after that. So I use programs and all that stuff. But to work with a drummer that is capable,
Changes a lot.
does a lot of things, and gets that kind of dynamic of what songwriting is.
Really nice to meet you.
Let's see. I'd let go of this and shake hands with you.
Oh, that's great.
If you come in
Can't
from
get the
hardcore,
car
you like
warm, man.
fills, you like all that stuff.
I got
That
2
band
hours.
was strong on fills.
Yeah,
I definitely pulled it back for recording purposes, but like live, I'm going crazy.
yeah, that's cool though, man. I love all that stuff. I love to be able to fill it out.
That's
you know?
beautiful.
To
Yeah.
me, I love filling it out. And
Brandon, it's like
I
2012
definitely
when I got it.
influences of that music.
Got the whole drum set.
Build on other genres.
When you walked in here a little bit ago with this and pulled it out, Max told me I built one with this with Ludwig's lugs. It looked like a Ludwig drum. I could have put a Ludwig badge on it because I had one,
Probably.
but I didn't.
I love
But this one, I thought for sure you were the guy that bought it. And I was like, oh, but this is
This is right before they switch over to the old
I want to be
60s.
able to keep
So this
have
is the big,
first drums.
you know,
how old is this drum?
2012.
Okay, so they.
It's got the 13 inch,
I like to stay basic singing and playing.
all matching. It's got the 24 by 18 bass drum, Virgin.
Okay.
Big 13 inch power tom, 18 inch floor tom.
So that way,
Yeah.
And the whole thing tastes like kaboom.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
write
18
interesting
floor toms are awesome.
melodies and
Yeah, that drum rocks.
interesting
Took a long time to get them.
Yeah.
more songwriting.
I just looked at the Ludwig catalog, said I'll take that.
songs I like.
They have that ability for me.
Look how long ago we ordered that drum set.
No, that's
Hopefully
good.
that's
They
good.
really did a nice step back then too. That you know, that rubber underneath that.
Yeah.
They did things
Said,
that just
he said you had some.
to me were
You're looking around to do some
were-
things. And,
just smart.
Classic.
Yeah, just classic.
Sonic be classic for a long time.
Now they switched back to the small keystone. That's back. I don't even. Can you still get that if you want it?
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think.
So
I
I'm
don't think you
doing.
can get the big one anymore.
I got one that's WFL.
Do the songwriting
That's a
thing.
90s.
But
Just started
early
this year.
2000s.
Shopping. So I got
But it warms up.
with a lot of AI and different
Yeah.
things where
And what are we talking about again?
I
What
wrote
wood was it?
country and I wrote pop and I wrote this industrial rock metal stuff. I'm writing an R&B record, doing all this stuff, but it's showcasing my songwriting.
That makes
Right.
sense.
And so my band, which is Rev It Up Loud, is where I will actually perform vocals all the time. So what I'm doing, shopping is publishing with that, and then on the artist side of it, which is the Rev It Up Loud stuff, that's the stuff that you got. All that stuff. This is stuff I gotta make come alive.
Gotcha.
So what's there, like that, he sent you that link, I guess? Yeah. So that link, those 11 songs, those are basically the songs that are like, this
Gigs
is
and
it.
everything.
And then if whatever we put into that, like it doesn't have to